Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Hello everybody, welcome to another Best of 9 Alpha Pro series. I'm really cozy, and joined with me today again, the one, the only, it is Creighton Olsen himself. Say hello, buddy.
Hello, everyone.
There he is. And on the job hunt and in between casting some amazing StarCraft 2 matches. I myself also am on the job hunt. Need to...
Well, don't sell me too short. I did spend most of yesterday playing Pokemon Gold for my stream, so I'm not working quite as hard as you make it seem.
I did see that it said it was a first playthrough as well.
Yeah, I never touched Pokemon Gold in my life. I've only played Red and Blue.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
That was almost really dangerous in the lobby there. You had me matched up against Solar, and that's gonna be a real short
it was actually
match.
first it was you versus me matched up, so that would have been interesting too.
Still be a pretty short show match.
Both players are ready. Casters ready.
Rock and roll.
Mostly.
On Gumiho are like titans right now.
Yeah, they really are, aren't they? They've been on top of the game again here.
Yeah, definitely. So we're waiting on Romsley, I think. Is he the Spanish language caster?
Yes, indeed. I just want to make sure, because this is the first game, I'm not quite 100% sure. Maybe like they have somebody, because there is one other person in the channel here, the chat channel. I'm not sure if that's like a co-caster of one of them that they want to have in as well. But sure. Okay, I think we're just gonna go because he's not complaining about it, at least. So
we got a best of 9 to do. We better get started on time, or else it's gonna go all night long.
Exactly. You got that right, Creighton.
Man, these best of 9s are such a good way to do these show matches. I hate when I see a show match that's like best of 3 and it's, 2 5-minute games. It almost doesn't count.
Exactly. No, this is really truly where everything is on the line. It feels like even the finals, of some certain events, they're just best of 7s, right? And then even with best of 7s, I suppose it doesn't always go to the 7th game, but like as we had actually was it Wednesday? Or was it Thursday? Wednesday, right? I think it was Wednesday.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
We did
yeah,
on Wednesday.
Well, we actually had the series go to the 9th game, so that was pretty cool.
To the bitter end. I was here for like 2 hours. It was fantastic.
Yeah. 2.5 hours, pretty much. Yeah. But
beautiful. So hopefully we get equally good games today, man. I think these guys should be fairly evenly matched, honestly, as far as their play goes right now. So I'm really excited to see what they pull out.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go into the first game. It's going to be on Ephemeron, I believe. Ephemeron. Right, that's why you're here as well. We have in the bottom right side of the map the blue Terran player. I think from, well, Korea, but besides Storming Gaming as well. He is Gumiho, the Towel Terran himself.
Hey, and his opponent in the top left, in the red, playing Zerg. From Team Splice, it is Stats. No, it's Solar. Wait, is he from Splice or is he on Triumphant Song Gaming now?
We'll have to take a quick look.
His photo that you had of him was in his Splice jersey, but I think he's on Triumphant Song Gaming now.
I think so
Hence
too.
the TSG.
I think so too. It might just be an older picture. Let me double check this actually. Don't want to seem
either way,
like we don't know what we're talking about now, right? That's
he's definitely on Triumphant Song Gaming. You had me primed to say Stats, or to say Splice rather.
Yeah, well, we're keeping you sharp here today. That's what we do.
I got Pokemon Gold on the brain. That's why I'm not doing casting here. That's what it is.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Excellent. Well, Solar expanding first, hatch before pool, going for that macro opening. You think he's going to drop a third before he does anything crazy with his Zerglings?
You know what? Maybe, probably. I think so. Yeah, probably. Right? I mean, Gumiho, not the most known player for like cheesing stuff. I think it's more like an orientated towards the macro anyway, right? As we are seeing coming out of him right now. So I'm expecting a quick third base. Yeah, sure. I think he can get away with it, right?
Well, probably. If you take a look at this third base on Ephemeron, though, actually, it's a super, super duper wide open third base. I mean, look at that. The entrance to it from the natural is a little bit wider than we've seen on previous maps like King's Cove. And then there's that big open third, and there's no ramp either. So you don't get the high ground advantage to defend against, like if you got siege tanks or something on the other side of that. It can be quite difficult to defend, but we see Solar going for it. So he must feel no fear.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what? I don't really blame him. Honestly, it's a really big map too. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's one of the bigger maps in the new map pool because you know what? Pretty much all of the maps are fairly big. But yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Just sticking to the standard place.
Yeah, yeah.
It's good to see what. Oh, you're dropping out a little bit here, Creighton.
Let me rejoin the Skype call, or the call real quick. Hold on just a minute.
It might be okay now. But... Alright.
Alright, so Gumiho just going with a 1-1-1.
Okay.
Everything looks pretty standard so far.
Yeah. Probably gonna get some Hellions trying to get into that main base. Using the medevac there as well. Getting the armory actually. That's going to be a Hellbat drop coming up.
Oh, man. And name something that's more terrifying than Gumiho and Hellbats. Oh, man.
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, it's like so a horror movie. But, yeah, I think...
Conserving speed has finished up for...
It has indeed. Those Zerglings obviously not the greatest choice against the Hellbats, perhaps, but there's a Roachhorn on the way as well. And a lot of Queens in production too. Queens overall... a really good tool for the Zerg, pretty much for most of the things Terrans throw at them in the early parts.
Yeah, it's fantastic. He has got a beautiful timing going on with the medevac coming across the map, not leaving anything back at home, just going straight for this drop, or this push rather.
Yeah, just going in actually. Also behind is getting Cloak Banshee, so perhaps even if he kills off the Queens, yeah, he's still gonna create himself an opening for further aggression, right? If that's all he gets.
Yeah, man, this is great, though. Solar's doing a good job of targeting down that medevac. We can see it's already on, like, a quarter health, so it's got to be very careful with its positioning. And, in fact, that medevac is going to go down, leaving all these Hellbats with nothing left. Let's see if they can do enough damage. He's desperately chasing a couple of these Queens, but some really nice micro there from Solar to shut this down so far. But Gumiho is not dead yet.
Trying to chase down those low HP Queens here with Hellbats. It's kind of funny seeing two kind of slow units trying to chase each other here.
He has forced a complete pull from that third base. So far, about 2 Queens have gone down. He's trying to get that third one, but the Roaches are now out for Solar. And Solar's going to be able to clean up this drop, and he only lost, like, what, 0 drones? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It seems so, man. And, well, he did lose the 2 Queens. He did lose 24 Zerglings as well. And right now, he does have an abundance of Roaches. And those Roaches, they're not going to help out very much against that Banshee that's coming in.
I am losing you a little bit of...
Yeah, our Skype call is seemingly to having a little bit of difficulties. I'm losing you as well here and there. I'm not seeing any errors on the stream though, so we should be good on that one. Maybe we can try
I think it's probably me. Yeah, let me disconnect and give you a call right back.
Yeah, all good, all good. Okay, so the Banshee will be coming up here. We are having a little bit of technical difficulties with the voice chat here. A little bit uncommon. We could try some other stuff as well. We'll figure it out as we go along, guys. We'll get it fixed for you.
Apologies about that. I think I'm reconnecting it, but my internet seems to be goofing around just a little bit today. So, not sure what I can do about that.
Sometimes those things are just out of your control. You know, it's annoying, but it's just how the world works. It's already pretty amazing that we can talk
Korean
to each other.
internet to fail me.
Really? Yeah. Well, I'm not familiar with Korean internet, but I suppose
it's usually quite good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gumiho is going into this hyper mech composition, which I really love. I've seen him do some terrifying stuff with hyperflight banshees. With the Cyclones behind it. It's going to take him a while to get up to a critical mass because he did lose all those initial Hellions on his push on the third. But if he's able to save up his strength a little bit, and if Solar doesn't push out, Gumiho could be really, really scary here.
Yeah, I'm bouncing up and down in my chair here, Creighton. I'm so excited to watch Gumiho play mech. He really plays mech like no one else does. And, well, with the Speed Banshees incorporated with the Hellions and Cyclones as well, you kind of get a feel already for the start. He's most likely going to mix in, well, maybe a couple of Thors as well. I've seen him do that a couple of times. And it's just a joy to watch, honestly. It's so much fun to see this other style that a lot of Zergs have difficulty with really trying to figure out.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he's going for. He's got enough bases, and his economy hasn't been harassed at all yet, so he'll probably have the resources to mix in some Thors. But the problem is going to be that he has none out yet, and we've just seen the Spire for Solar finish with 6 Mutalisks, make it 7? Oh, 6 Mutalisks on the way for Solar, who's just starting his first upgrades. But those Mutalisks, of course, do great damage against Hellions, because, of course, Hellion damage against Mutalisks, not the best.
Non-existent, you might call it. Banshees as well. Banshees don't do that great against it either. I guess, like, with the Banshees, you kind of trade off. Like, you'll have less Cyclones. So that makes sense, actually, going for the Mutalisk against this. And then again, Gumiho, let's see when he sees it, and if he does actually tries to get into a Thor composition here as well, as a response.
Yeah, I mean, he must know that there's something on the way. I don't think he's built any missile turrets just yet, but if he has any Cyclones that he's left at home, that'll be an indication that he's prepared for this this attack. Meanwhile, the Banshee's doing some good jobs picking off Cyclones. But oh man, here comes Solar, and Gumiho suddenly in a lot.
A lot of trouble indeed. The Cyclones trying the best to come in here. I'm sorry, Gren, you got cut out again a little bit. Alright, Mutalisk do get chased off. Banshee's also getting chased off here, but more economic damage being taken here by Gumiho. Do you think we should try to, like, get into a server or something? Perhaps it's just like the connection we are having together on the private call on Discord. Creighton?
Here, it's a little bit, again, I've got an indicator that our voice connection on Discord is absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that it's probably from my end.
I don't know. We could try to go on, like, an actual Discord server. You know? Oh my god, a huge engagement.
Sure, let's wait until after this game and see if we can get something going here. Meanwhile, a big attack on some of these very narrow bridges. One of the interesting features of Ephemera on this map has these really, really narrow choke points. And it looks like Gumiho is really trying to use those choke points to prevent Solar from getting a good surround and getting anything done. Meanwhile, these Banshees doing great work here, as there are no Overseers present.
Absolutely. Well, there is the Spore Crawler, of course, but not as mobile as it wants to be. But all the Queens are getting picked off.
Yeah, these Hypermech Banshees doing so much damage here from Gumiho. They've got that second armor upgrade as well. Oof.
That is so disgusting. And also, actually, only 2 Mutalisk now remaining. Transitioning into Corruptors, actually, is Solar here. Also adding this Hive Tech. So prepping up to go towards those Brood Lords. Most likely, but also, of course, the Corruptors is going to be great against those Banshees overall.
Yeah, the Banshees do have plenty of energy, so we can see Gumiho using some of those Cyclone lock-ons to pick down the Spore Crawlers, actually, which is a really nice move. Now, he's got to keep those Overseers active, though.
Absolutely, absolutely. Needs to be on top of where those Overseers are and needs to put them into positions where he can immediately jump back and forth between the places where those Banshees might potentially start harassing again. Now, just...
This is fascinating, man. It's rare for me to see a Terran player use the Banshees just to pick off creep tumors, but I bet the Banshee flock picked off more creep tumors than almost anything else this game. But oh my gosh, here we go. Solar catching Gumiho out in the open. A lot of these Banelings rolling forward, getting all around it. Oh my goodness gracious. A lot of the mech units going down for Gumiho, but Solar might not quite have enough. There's still a lot of Hellbats and Cyclones left here, and Gumiho is feeling confident enough to push further onto creep.
Absolutely. In fact, not really sticking to the Hellions, just immediately transforming everything here into Hellbats. And just having really good splits against the Banelings. Although, just as I say that, their big clump of Banelings does make a connection there. And losing a lot of his units, unfortunately. Getting in that, well, I guess it's not that big of a choke point, but it's still a little bit of a choke point compared to where they were fighting beforehand.
Definitely, and one of the biggest things we're going to see here, well, as we can see right now, these Zerglings are now able to get a full surround on those Cyclones. Now that there are no Hellbats to burn them down very quickly, the army composition of Gumiho is a lot less terrifying because, of course, Solar can just pump out a lot of Zerglings, surround those Cyclones, and make something happen. He's got that Greater Spire on the way. He's setting himself up really well for the late game, and most importantly, he has taken 0 economic damage this game. I mean, a couple drones have gone down here and there, but almost nothing. Okay, 16 drones, that's practically nothing this late in the game, but
Yeah.
oh, I spoke too soon. Here we go.
Finally finding some of it here. Well, 10 workers do go down, but is it too little too late? I mean, the technology is pretty much already here for Solar. Solar pretty much set for the late game. I guess his creep spread is a little bit lackluster because of those Banshees, of course. But overall...
Gumiho, though, double expanding as well.
Oh wow, that is, I think that's a really good move actually, especially seeing how he's keeping Solar on his side of the map. Not really allowing him to put any aggression on of his own.
Man, this game feels a lot like the MLG Providence, where the you remember when the Slayers team figured out Blue Flame Hellions and just wrecked an entire tournament with them?
God.
That's a lot what this feels like right now, is that Gumiho has just remembered that Blue Flame Hellions are a thing, and he is using them to his fullest.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, it's actually, though maybe he did sacrifice too much. Maybe Solar thinks that actually. He's moving across the map now. Large clump of Zerglings and Roaches. Maybe just a little bit of counter aggression if he does notice those Hellions and Cyclones across the map somewhere again.
Yeah, we see Solar setting up for a bit of a counterattack. Now, this is going to be a really tricky position for Solar because, of course, his creep spread has been hampered so badly. Oh, nice. Some of these Roaches and Raptors are getting caught out.
Wow.
A little bit of supply lost there for Solar that he probably didn't want to take. He needs all the supply he can get right now, even if it is just Roaches and Ravagers. But one of the big problems with Broodlords is that you've got to have pretty decent creep spread to keep the army underneath them very active and mobile. Once those Broodlords get way off creep, it gets much harder to support them with Roaches, Ravagers, anything that's on the ground. So Solar should really work on pressing that creep forward just a little bit. It's going to make him just a little bit more difficult to engage off that creep when Cyclones have such a distinct speed advantage.
Absolutely, yeah. This bench is also just still making so much work happen for Gumiho. Look at that, 11 more workers go down, in fact.
Wow, it did not feel like 11 workers, but those Banshees are so good at their jobs. That's really impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Just every time they shoot once, that's another drone dead, basically. Just very good targeting with the Banshees. Just absolutely insane. Oh my dear lord, that's a big engagement. Actually, a lot of Cyclones looking onto those Broodlords, and most of them go down here. There's still a lot of Terran remaining, not that many Banelings to counteract this aggression here. Gumiho
down to just one Broodlord. Gumiho is doing a great job here, right off of creep, harassing this newly taken base, and that's going to force Solar to just go ahead and GG out. Gumiho is going to take game number 1.
Wow.
Nuclear missile ready.
That was something else right there. Gumiho.
And a really bad engagement in the middle of the map there for Solar, and that is all it takes when you're going Broodlord, man. If you get up to those 7 Broodlords and then you lose 6 of them, I don't care who you are. That's just about the end of the game if your Terran opponent's able to continue pressing forward. And Gumiho just almost didn't lose anything in that engagement and came away a clear winner.
Absolutely, yeah. Let me see. Okay, so we are gonna have to look into the next map. It seems to be going all right now, right? Discord, I think.
Yeah, I sound a little bit better. I think you sound a little better as well. Hopefully things are smoothed out from here on out. Looks like our next map is going to be Acropolis from Solar.
Acropolis. All right, I will get it hosted. There we go.
A good choice. We often see this with the new map pool. The losing player retreats to a map that they find familiar.
Yeah. You think that Gumiho just practiced the new maps a whole lot more? Maybe it's just that his style is so unusual. It just works well in places where people are already a little bit unfamiliar. And then,
yeah, he really did a good job there, keeping map control, and of course Gumiho doing a style that he's very familiar with and pretty famous for, honestly. It would be surprising to see him struggle with that style. And since our Zerg player wasn't able to get any damage done in the early game, yeah, Gumiho was pretty strong practically the entire game.
Absolutely, and even though we mentioned this, right? It didn't seem like he had done an incredible amount of damage early on. Other than killing off queens, killing off creep, maybe killing off Zerglings as well with some roaches here and there. But other than that, not really a lot of economic damage was dealt to Solar. Could it be that Solar just over-defended a little bit, making too many units instead of droning up enough?
That's plausible. I think I've got another good theory, but we'll let you introduce the players since we're onto the map, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. So whenever you get this map ready to roll.
All right. We have over here from TS Gaming He's the blue Zerg in the top left of Acropolis. He is Solar.
And his opponent in the bottom right, in the red, playing as Terran, it is the fearless player from Psystorm Gaming, Gumiho.
All right, I'm
So
still
what I was
waiting for
gonna
that
say
tactic.
Yeah. So interestingly, I cast a lot of the Alpha Star games this week. I did a big stream where I was doing a bunch of Alpha Star games. And one thing we saw from the Alpha Star Terran agent was continuous, non-stop Banshee production. And even in the mid-game, even into the late game, against Protoss, against Zerg, against other Terran, it didn't matter. The Alpha Star agent was making Banshees like there was no tomorrow and putting on that constant Banshee pressure. And it worked wonders. All it took was for his opponent to like lose focus for one round, and the Banshees could clean out 5, 10, 15 workers, and it would completely swing the game. It was a really interesting gamble for Alpha Star to take, and we saw Gumiho really making the most of those mid to late game Banshees in the last matchup.
It's very interesting indeed. Yeah, like they do have a lot of potential, right? Just because of their enormous mobility. But then again, they're so fragile too. If you just lose focus yourself as a Terran as well, and you lose those Banshees, that could be game ending as well, right?
Definitely, and that's one reason that I think they work so well with Gumiho's current style. It doesn't take a lot of APM to manage a Hellion Cyclone army. You know, a couple Cyclone lock-ons when you're engaging, and you stay fairly active with the Cyclones to put pressure on the mineral lines. But really, you've got a lot of mental space left over to continue to do damage with those Banshees. So I would not be surprised if we saw Gumiho going for a similar build. It worked so well for him last time. And of course, Acropolis, plenty of airspace on this map, plenty of places for Banshees to hide. Could very well be a valuable strategy for him again.
I think you're right, yeah. It would be very cool to see again happen here. You know what, I just want to have more replays of that kind of style. And
there's nothing quite like seeing a player at their best, doing the strategy they know the best, and executing it perfectly.
Absolutely, yeah. Specifically because it is such a style that you don't really see other Terrans play, right? It is truly a unique style in a way.
Yeah, very rare to see somebody else going for hypermech as regularly, certainly, as Gumiho does. Now, his Reaper is going to get in for that full scout. He'll see that Solar took a third base a little bit earlier. Usually, it's kind of nice with that Reaper if you can harass the drone and prevent it from getting out to the third base. But Solar moved out with that drone so quickly that Gumiho's Reaper wasn't able to stop it. So again, we see Solar going for a fairly macro-oriented build here.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe even a little bit quicker than he did previously. Sometimes you also see an SCV scout trying to block off that third base. But then again, normally Solid or the Zerg just takes the other third base, of course, or just has a couple of links to clean up that SCV.
Gumiho definitely not going for the same Hellbat style we saw last game. Look at that production tab. We have got some cattle bruisers in our future.
Oh boy, the fusion core. All right.
Yes.
Gonna bring the herd to the Zerg base.
Gumiho's been on the phone with TY and Special a lot this week. Just making sure. Now, the good news for Solar is, oh my gosh, Solar's going to scout it, right? Solar's going to scout it, right? He's going to scout it.
My dear Lord.
God. Oh, no.
Right, I mean, he sees the tech lab on the starport, right? And he doesn't see it researching. So I guess he kind of has to assume that it is battle cruisers, right? Because otherwise you would definitely still, like, Gumiho doesn't go for Banshees without the cloak or without the speed, right? So,
Yes, sometimes I have seen some Terrans who will delay that first cloak a little bit because sometimes your opponent won't get the Spore Crawlers up in time. But it looks like this the Speed Overlord is coming back in, should go his second round, and this time, surely Solar will see it. Surely he's going to get that Overlord in and scout to the back of the... Oh my god.
Oh, there
okay, there we go.
Oh, still on the edge, though.
Yeah, so Solar definitely knows what's up now. We should see the Spore Crawlers going down, some more Queens on the way. And the real question now is, what's Gumiho going to do with that battlecruiser? Is he going to immediately warp it across the map and just try to catch him by surprise? We've seen that fail miserably, of course. In the last series we did, we saw it was Dynamite, right? Warped his battlecruiser in right over 5 of Armani's Queens, and it just went down like a stock market in the 1920s.
Oh,
so we'll have to see what Gumiho does with this first battlecruiser that is now out and already warped across the map.
Absolutely. Oh, I love this from Solar. Getting the Overlords here to spread the creep in between the bases as well. Already making it easier for his queens to rotate around the bases, but actually the battlecruiser teleporting in onto the third base. And managing to do, well, a little bit of damage. Not as much as you want from a battlecruiser, but in come the Hellions.
Yeah, and this is the 1-2 punch that we very often see from these Zerg players. Sneak in the battlecruiser, cause some chaos, and as soon as those drones rotate back into the third, put the Hellions in. Now, unfortunately for Gumiho, Solar had a really, really nice defense there, sneaking those Zerglings in, trapping the Hellions, not able to get any drones down. So Gumiho not finding the damage that he wants, but his battlecruiser is still alive. There's a second battlecruiser on the way, and there's been no run-bys or anything, so his economy's still in pretty good nick at 50 SCVs.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, he did keep the battlecruiser alive. He lost the Hellions, though, of course. Well, I'd rather have the battlecruiser stay alive than the Hellions, but it's still a little bit tricky situation, and we can see Solar taking advantage of it already, throwing down his fourth base as well. And maybe what? Not sure if he should try to take a third base or a fifth base as well. Probably not, right? Probably not. I don't know. He's the pro. I should just watch and learn. Honestly, that's what I should do.
That's what I always say as well. A fifth base would certainly be tough to justify at this point with the Hellions on the map. I mean, if you take a fifth base, what you're saying to your opponent is, I am confident that my army can beat your army. I can defend this location. And right now, if you take a look at Solar's units tab, he's got 3 roaches out, and that's basically it, aside from a couple of Zerglings and some Corruptors. So a fifth base would be very bold, especially given that he knows Gumiho has that second battlecruiser on the way. The battlecruisers, of course, with that enormous mobility, able to put pressure on those bases. And yeah, I think a fifth base would be a bold choice from Solar before he's able to sweep some more of Gumiho's army off that map or build up a force of his own to defend. And we see it now. He's going up to Infestation Pit, getting his upgrades instead. I think a fifth base is a ways off now for Solar.
Very well could be. Gumiho, though, is getting his fourth base up as well. Alright, well, with the Infestation Pit, I mean, as long as you do manage to get to that very late game composition with the Infestors, with the Broodlords, you should be in a very good position as a Zerg player, of course.
Yeah, this is really nice from Gumiho. Look at that. He's tricking Solar. He's trying to engage with this small Cyclone army on the creep and pull those army units away. Meanwhile, the battlecruisers getting into that fourth base and immediately starting to roast some drones. Solar pulling all of his drones away. We see the Yamato cannons going down and the battlecruisers getting out as soon as they see those 5 or 6 Corruptors.
Very well done. Very well done. Getting a little bit
Only
of
2 drone kills, though. So, yeah, Gumiho, I feel, he feels a bit like a dentist that's trying to extract a tooth and just can't quite get it. He keeps yanking on it, but can't get anything done with it right now. Only, if we go to the Units Lost tab, he's only got, 8 drone kills so far? Now, he hasn't lost a whole lot, but, man, that's still not ideal.
I think, honestly, I think he might still be okay. I'm kind of curious to see, though, how long he's going to keep producing those battle cruisers, because Solar is getting really close to having just the absolute counter to that unit composition, right? With the Infestors, with the Corruptors there.
You could have said the absolute counter to any unit, and as long as you said Infestors, the entire forums would be like, he's right! Infestors are the counter to everything, it's not fair.
Maybe, but I feel like, you know what, battlecruisers in particular, right? If you have the Neural Parasite available, it's so incredibly difficult. I suppose you can still try to move around the Infestors with battlecruisers and try to teleport out before you do get Neuraled or Fungaled, but it's so incredibly difficult. You need to be really on top of your game there.
Yeah, especially now that we've seen Solar getting that burrow. And now Gumiho knows about it. He's scanning out those burrowed banelings, so he knows the burrow's on the table, and that's going to, force Solar to get off creep and try and push Gumiho back. He can't let Gumiho keep clearing this creep as effectively as he has been for the entire game.
I agree, yeah. He's doing a lot better than in the previous game. As we can see now, the creep actually almost halfway across the map and spreading out its tentacles, really, to most of the locations.
Yeah, of course, battlecruisers are a lot less mobile than Banshees, and we saw Gumiho doing a great job with those Hyperflight Banshees last game, scanning, using them to pick off creep tumors. And this time with the battlecruisers, not quite as mobile, so the creep spread just a little bit better. Already, Solar, though, going up to Hive, getting that Adrenal Glands for his Zerglings, still cranking out Infestors, albeit a little bit slowly, and oh no, he's going to catch these battlecruisers. Yeah. What a pickup for Solar, who's going to force Gumiho to jump away with those battlecruisers almost immediately.
Actually, with the Yamato
Nice
cannons.
Yamatos.
Yeah, that was very cool though. Solar saw the battlecruisers fly by with the burrowed Zerglings on the top there. And that's really interesting. Those burrowed Zerglings not just there to keep Gumiho from making the bases as quickly as he wants to, but also actually scouting for these flybys of the battlecruisers that usually fly by on those locations.
That's a really good observation, Kozan, and one that I certainly missed. I saw those things burrowed, and I think I saw that we watched the battlecruisers fly right over him.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was just like, oh, he can't land the command center. It's all fine. But you're
Yeah.
right. They're a wonderful scouting tool there. Finally, Gumiho cleaning up some creep out of the middle of the map. He's got to do more work than this, though, if he wants to stay on this mech battlecruiser composition. By the way, Gumiho has been making battlecruisers continuously from the beginning of this game. He has not yet stopped.
How many has he lost? He hasn't lost any of them yet. Wow, that is really good actually.
Not a single battlecruiser down, and just about to be 6 on the map. Man, that is getting real terrifying. We see 6 battlecruisers from Solar, and those infestor upgrades going down, and this is going to go into a pretty solid late game, what I like to call the back of the box artwork type game, where we're certain that the final battle is going to be Broodlords and Yamato cannons and God knows what else fighting it out for supreme galactic domination.
Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully we don't see any Vikings being landed towards the Ultralisk though this time.
That was the saddest tactical thing I'd ever seen in a cinematic ever. That poor Viking.
Oh, whoever
Just got
made that
bodied.
cinematic must hate every commentator ever so much.
So Solar's finished up adrenal, or pardon me, not adrenal glands. He has finished adrenal glands, but he's also finished the pathogen glands for his infestors. And we're about to see 6 infestors pop out with that upgrade already done, meaning that they're that much closer to an extreme fungal, to those neural parasites. This game is about to get really, really exciting. We see Gumiho going in for a sneak attack again on that 4th base with the battlecruisers, and again Solar's army out of place, forcing the battlecruisers to engage. We've got some Yamatos active, some Zerglings getting on top of the tanks, but man, Gumiho's army is looking genuinely quite terrifying right now.
Jumping out exactly at the time when he needed to, when those infestors actually came along. Even before the fungal was casted there. So great scanning ahead by Gumiho, making sure he doesn't lose stuff unnecessarily.
These guys' reaction times are always incredible. Like, I know they're professional gamers and that's their job, but I am still in awe every time that there is a millisecond decision that they're able to make that I wouldn't have even noticed if you gave me 10 minutes to stare at the map. Like I was looking at a Where's Waldo, I still wouldn't find it, and these guys just see it immediately and get the heck out of there.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a joy to see, honestly. Like, you do feel like they are subhuman, right? Like some other type of species almost. That just
It's incredible.
yeah.
Now, take a look at Gumiho's army composition. This is really interesting because he knows he's got to do something about those broodlings coming down from the broodlords. His Hellion count is a little bit small right now. He's been investing mostly, of course, in Cyclones and battlecruisers. But if the broodlords are able to be supported by a Zerg army underneath them, Cyclone is not the best unit to have with all those broodlings raining down. So Gumiho, we can see him already switching over, getting Corvid Reactor, getting ready for some Raven play, and going through the upgrades. And here we already see the Thors coming in because he needs something a little bit beefier in this army to protect against the broodlings for when that engagement comes.
Very true. Of course, those Thors are going to help out extremely well against those broodlords as well. Just being able to pick them off from afar.
Triple pronged Terrassier from Gumiho setting on top of the 6th base here for Solar. That 6th base almost certainly down. We see Solar not even bothering to defend it. He's moving his army into position, but the tanks are already going to shell it down, and that's going to clear the way for the battlecruisers to get it. But oh no! All the broodlings getting on top of these siege tanks. Those siege tanks are almost certainly going to die.
Yeah, I think that might be okay though. I'm sure that, at least I think Gumiho realized that he would lose those siege tanks a little bit there. Because, you know what, he was max supply, he doesn't want to get those Thors out, he wants to change up his army composition, right? So I feel like that might have been part of his plan.
Again, you're very correct. It was absolutely right. I just miscalled that completely. So the siege tanks from Gumiho doing a great job picking up the 6th base and then sacrificing himself to make way for the 6 Liberators that are now on the way. He's finally stopped production of battlecruisers and is going into Liberators, which is a great transition.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's gonna help out a bunch against those infestors. Of course, does he already have the Liberator range? Yes, he does. Okay, well.
Oh, God.
My dear Lord, everything is going to ham in a basket here, Creighton. I don't know anymore.
So this is an interesting little base race that's going on now. But Solar is going to flinch, actually. He's heading back home to defend against these battlecruisers. And the battlecruisers in his main, oh, man. But there are so many Corruptors here. Let's see who comes out on the end of this. Oh, wow, the Yamatos go down, and Gumiho gets the heck out of there, saving all of his battlecruisers. Well done.
Absolutely, yeah. And let's take a look at the units lost tab again. Well, it's pretty close, actually. I'd say that's not where you want to be as the meching Terran, but you know what? That just shows how well Solar is playing as well. Very conservative here.
Yeah, I mean, we're crossing the 16-minute mark in this game where, and both armies are maxed out now. We've got all the upgrades one could possibly want. So now we're looking at things like positioning, army engagement, and more importantly, I think, the bank that these players are able to build up, which is really where the economy is going to come in at its fullest.
I think you're very right with that, absolutely. Well, I don't know, is this a good place for Gumiho to attack right now? I'm not completely sure. I mean, it is with a ramp area. The Liberator's getting a good siege up here. I always get nervous in these situations. Like, man, one good fungal, one good parasitic bomb, one good neural, or like all the Yamato cannons going off as well. The same thing, right? Alright. Liberators focusing down the infested Terrans. Here we go. A lot of stuff is happening. The Thors, some of them weren't ready yet with the high impact payload. Trying the best to fight off the Zerg onslaught. Does he have enough? Corruptors getting on top of all the Liberators. The battlecruisers already having to flee. The Thors now in the struggle against the Broodlings, nibbling on their tiny little feet.
Yeah, this is not looking great for Gumiho. He has lost all of his Liberators now. We see 10 SCVs have gone down. Those SCVs were supporting the battlecruisers, but these battlecruisers have all used their tactical jump to get away from the battle. He was trying to pick off the 5th base, but every last battlecruiser is going to go down. And with 9 more Broodlords on the way, I think Solar is in a really, really good position this game, keeping a worker advantage. And yeah, Thor against that many Broodlords is just going to be really ugly with no liberation zones to protect against the infestors as well.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right with that. And then also, of course, there weren't that many Hellions or Hellbats available, were there, to keep those the Broodlings a little bit away from the Thor, so they could keep marching forwards towards those Broodlords.
The one accidental misclick swarm host, they're going to get sacrificed in the middle of the map. Poor guy.
He stays alive. He's saved.
Oh my gosh. What a win for Solar, who does have one entire swarm host.
Oh my dear lord. The little tiny
really
stories.
Useless as a swarm host with that many Broodlords on the map. Like, free units? No. I'll show you what free units are, man. Oh, man. Solar moving into siege up on Gumiho's base. And Gumiho just, I think, trying to wait until more Thors pop out. But his production is going to get camped very quickly here. And Solar is looking absolutely unstoppable here in game number 2.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Gumiho now trying his best to assemble some sort of a force again to try and make something happen here. He is also going around with Hellions, but he's met by a couple of Banelings, and, well, 4 drops, actually. 3 Medifex and 3 Thors coming in here. Gonna be taking out another base as well, but I don't know, Creighton, if this is going to be doing as much as he wants to. The Corruptors already on top of them. Oh, my dear lord. Yeah,
this large amount of Corruptors here. I mean, if you look at the units tab, we can see he's got 17 Corruptors on the field. 9 infestors, 13 broodlords. This is just a composition that is so terrifying. And with this many Thors getting picked off one by one, Gumiho, I think, cracking a little under the pressure, but not out of the game completely yet, man. Gumiho still has a bit of a scary army, and 3-3 army, 3-3 mech units rather, are not to be trifled with.
Absolutely. The one thing I'm worried about for Gumiho.
I'd quote the Wu-Tang Clan here, but I'm not sure how PG friendly your stream is.
Well, it's alright. You can make the reference. There
you go. Reference made. Go on, Koza. What were you about to say?
The one thing I am a little bit worried about for Gumiho here is that I feel like his economy might be just slightly behind. But actually, let me count this up. So he has 1 mining base over here. He has a half mining base over there. Another mining base, and then versus Solar. Actually, they're still kind of even, right, on bases, but Solar just has a little bit more bank at the moment. Man, this is getting really rough to call.
Yeah, if you hit Shift-I and look at that income advantage graph that the players can see, we can see it swinging like wildly in favor. It's been Solar's economic game for most of the time now, but it may not matter what the economies are here. The Thor is pinned up against this last base here. Lots of neuroparasites going down. Oh my gosh, so many Thors getting controlled. The Broodlord number is thinning out just a little bit. The Corruptor's a little late to the battle, but I think Solar might have this, and there it is. The GG goes down, and Solar gets revenge in game number 2.
Beautiful game played there by Solar. Really showing how to get to that late game and, well, completely shredding the army of Gumiho multiple times there. Yeah, I have to wonder though, did that all come back to that one moment where we saw Gumiho try and move through the middle of the map with his entire force and just got completely destroyed, basically. Lost most of his army there.
Yeah, it's so hard to call. Now, I've heard some players say that when they're analyzing their replays, they will analyze until they make their first mistake. And then they say, okay, that was my mistake this game. Anything that happens after it doesn't matter, because whatever happened after it may have been different had I not made that initial mistake.
Yeah, that's true. I hear that too sometimes, but it's rough, right? Because you can still look at the other mistakes as well. It kind of depends, I guess, on what kind of a player you are. But I can definitely see it. Like, it's a very interesting thing on how you should do that.
Yeah, I mean, at the course of the end of the game, we can't look at it any other way than saying that, of course, Gumiho got caught out of position, had those Thors up against a wall, and there was just nowhere for him to retreat to.
Alright, now before we hop into the next game, I do want to quickly shout out the one, the only, the sponsor. It's GameStop, guys. They are working with top pros from top teams in the gaming industry to bring you the Pro Training Series. These are monthly videos that they make together with those pros, of course, and give you the pro insights and the expertise that you need in all sorts of games, ranging from PUBG, Call of Duty, Overwatch, Fortnite, and all that sorts, and even more other games on the way as well. So make sure to go check them out, guys. GameStop.com/esports. Alright. Now, we have a suggestion for the party. I'm not sure if that was on purpose. What's that?
Yeah, Cura is one of the co-casters that
alright.
someone would recommend get added. So Romsley had asked his co-caster to be added. So Cura's in here, co-caster for the Spanish stream.
Very, very good. He is Alpha X brother, so that makes a lot of sense. Very good, very attentive of you. Alright, so let me ask if they are still ready. Also, guys, by the way, there is the Matcherino code. I'm not sure if we didn't really mention it yet, but yeah, there's a code just above the chat window. It should be over there in the little notice box. And yeah, grab that code, go to the link that is mentioned there as well. Fill it in, log in. Doesn't take anything, it doesn't take any of your money, doesn't take any real information from you. It just wants you to log in with your already existent Twitch account, and it doesn't send any of your data anywhere. And yeah, you'll give these players a little bit of extra money just for absolute nothing, honestly. It's like some sort of dark voodoo, but then it's like friendly voodoo. Friendly money voodoo for esports. So make sure to show
friendly voodoo.
There we go.
That's great, man. Yeah, that code is, I believe, APS 106, right? Pro Series number 106. So many of these. How do you do it, Kozan?
Well, there were other people a long time doing this before I did. I've only just kind of recently jumped in Creighton, honestly. I think I've done like maybe 10 of these now, maybe a bit more. I think I jumped in around like 80 or 90, somewhere around that mark. So yeah, don't ask me, man. It is amazing how many games they put into, or well, how much time they put into making these series possible for everyone to enjoy, honestly.
Yeah, man.
Them being
standing
the
on the shoulder of giants, as we all are.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, anyway, game number 3. Here we go. We have, in the top left corner of the map, TS Gaming. It is the Blue Zerg. It is Solar. We have it going for a quick
and
hedge.
His countrymen, opponent on the bottom right-hand corner in the red, playing as Terran from Team Psystorm Gaming. It is Gumiho. Gumiho has been with Psystorm for so long. I don't know how many years it's been. He's one of the few players who I can remember as being from Psystorm Gaming for quite some time, it is great to see a team that is so dedicated to their players, and they keep them on for quite a while.
Absolutely, absolutely. I gotta admit, I'm kind of bad at knowing on which teams players are. Like beforehand, I used to be okay at it, in like the early Wings of Liberty days. But then I don't know, afterwards, I don't know what exactly happens. I'm having a lot of difficulty just remembering on what team who is.
Well, I mean, we've seen an overall shift over the course of a very early third there from Solar, by the way. Nice work by him to get that down. But Gumiho going for an economic opening as well. Anyway, just in the last 2 or 3 years, we've seen this sort of big shift in the way that players align themselves with teams. We see a lot more teams of like 3 players, for example, this year, especially in the Korean scene, because they do want to compete in the China Team League.
Yeah.
So we'll see a lot of teams like Triumphant Song Gaming, for example, with Solar, a very small roster of very elite players, so they compete in the Chinese Team League. And then we've also seen a shift, which I think is really interesting, toward individual player sponsorships. Look at a player like Neeb, who is on, he's kind of on Team Ting, but really it's just kind of a personal sponsorship where one company is looking out for this one player. And I think that gets played. That I don't know. I gotta say, I don't know anything about how the contracting process works. I don't know how these guys get paid, but I feel like that would give you a lot more freedom as a player. To be able to say, hey, I can look for these personal sponsors. If I want to hunt out more of them, I can. If I want to renegotiate my contracts with them, I've got a little bit more power as the one player. So it's been an interesting dynamic that's changed a lot over the course of StarCraft. I don't know if it's like that in other esports, but it's nice to see from our side of the esports world.
Yeah, I think you're making good points there, honestly. Well, I know even less about the contracting side of things, I assume. But look at this build, by the way, from Gumiho. This is kind of interesting. He went for a tech lab first and then immediately just throwing it on top of that starport. Usually you do see this combined with some sort of reactor for the Hellions being, created out as well. But this time, no, actually just immediately straight going for that Banshee play.
Yeah, one of the quickest possible Banshee builds, I think, available to him. And if you take a look at Solar's vision, he's done a very, very good job of denying scouting there. And I think Solar has no idea just yet what he's up against, but we do see the Overlord moving in, who will see the 3rd command center going down quite early. But Solar's Overlord will get in to see these Banshees on their way. So if Gumiho is trying to keep it a secret, he has done well up until now. But of course, with no bio on the ground to push this Overlord away, gonna get scouted out.
Yeah, that is the one weakness, I suppose, of this. Did he not make like one Marine? Alright, there he is. He just a little bit late to the party here. Bit unfortunate.
Gumiho supply blocked. What? Somebody take a screenshot of this. Oh, there we go. Okay, he's not supply blocked anymore. That's very quick. It was very quick. First Banshee on the way. Second one coming out now. Let's see if Gumiho cancels either of these upgrades now that he's been scouted. It's not uncommon for players to cancel those right away. But it looks like he's going to let it finish, even though he has picked off that Overlord. The first Banshee is out. And Cloaking going to finish here in about 2 seconds. Spore Crawler's already down, though. So Solar in a good spot.
Needs to be careful with that Banshee. Not really finding any damage so far. Has to go back, retreat home, get it repaired up, group up with the other Banshee, and then perhaps you can still find a little bit of a nice angling here and there. Start one-shotting those drones. But so far a little bit lackluster for our Terran player here.
Let's talk about how greedy Gumiho is being right now. Look at this. We're just about to cross the 5-minute mark. He's got 3 bases, double engineering bay, and is only now dropping down those additional barracks.
Oh my god, that is very interesting actually. Going for the bio after the Banshee follow-up. I really wasn't expecting that. I really thought we were just going to see the mech play come out again. But no.
Yeah, now we do see this sometimes from Terran players, because if you go for the early 3rd base, a very common follow-up is the 3 barracks, get a lot of bio out, because you've got to have something to protect your sort of greedy opening here. But wow, Gumiho getting those Banshees out first to cause some damage, and then going for the more standard 3cc 3 barracks play on top of that.
If we look at Solar's vision as well, by the way, we did see that Gumiho actually did fake going battle mech here. Getting an upgrade on the tech lab on the factory for a little bit as the Overlord was flying by. And then afterwards, just, taking it off again and switching up completely towards the bio play. So, you know what? I guess Solar did make the Rotron here. He hasn't really invested that much, though, into a anti-battle mech army. And it seems like he's going to be okay overall, but it's still pretty cool. Little mind game.
Yeah, now he did the Overseer in afterwards, so I think Solar does know that it's going to be a bio play, which is why we see him researching the melee upgrade as opposed to missile attacks. He's going to need a lot of Zergling damage, a lot of Baneling damage on the map there to deal with so many bio units. But again, Gumiho getting in with these Banshees and just finding every little nook and cranny that he can to pick off drones left and drones right.
Yeah, it's just so disgusting. I always try this with my own Banshees, but I never managed to find these weird angles, you know, where you're just able to still manage to pick off 3 drones again, like 8 drones already in total going down, just casually strolling on by. Just those two Banshees getting an insane amount of kills.
I think when Gumiho plays, the Spore Crawler range is just decreased a little bit somehow. I don't know how he does it, but that seems to be the case. Luckily, Mutalisk's now out for Solar, who's going to pick off both these Banshees. And we see the Banshee production, of course, has stopped now that Solar's moved his metaport, his starport over to get the medevacs out twice as quickly. So 10 drone kills is not too bad for 2 Banshees, but these Mutalisks have got to be very careful in the face of all of this 1-1 bio that is now steamrolling across the map.
Yeah, I like that, the metaports, actually. As soon as it has like a reactor on it, it should become the metaports.
And then the Liberport. Oh, that doesn't quite work. The port arator. The star. I can't do it. There's got to be something in there. You word people in the chat can figure that one out.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
All right, so 2-2 for Gumi, which is really nice. And we see him look at, oh god, this is beautiful from Gumiho. I love it when the players start mixing in the Marauders early and often. Marauders, of course, one of the best things you can have against Baneling Splash. And with good army positioning, they're going to give them a lot more play and prevent those Marines from just dying immediately to the +1 or +2 Banelings that they encounter. So nice to see him mixing those Marauders to go with his +2. But yeah, we're going to see Gumiho going straight bio all the time, which is a great choice for Thunderbird, another very large map.
Very true, very true. That is good reasoning, solid reasoning, I would say. Having a big map and then just going for that more mobile army. Although, man, it's looking rough. It doesn't look like he has any chance really to do any damage here so far. He is really trying to commit off of creep, or make Solar commit off of creep here. Guess that is his one chance, right? Where the Banelings aren't gonna connect as quickly as they want to. But a big flank coming in here for Solar.
Ooh, yeah, this could be really nice. We see a little bit of pre-spetting here from Gumiho. He's got all his control groups set up, but Solar already moving into position. In fact, he's not going to go for the flank immediately. He's actually sending a little Zergling run-by here. Or pardon me, those are the Mutalisks, but I think the Zergling run-by coming in from the back as well. This is going to be a really interesting engagement. Now, Gumiho's putting pressure on that 4th base from Solar. And, oh man, he's got so much bio streaming out that the run-by is going to get foiled, and Solar's going to be sent home.
Yeah. Tanking up enough of his Marine Marauder force there in between the wall, making sure that something like that isn't going to immediately just straight up kill him. Which always happens to me, of course, but let's not talk about that too much.
This is my favorite, one of my favorite periods of the game to be in, this Bio versus Lingbane Mutastyle.
Yeah.
It's one of the matches where one good engagement or one bad engagement are all it takes, and here we see Solar swinging in. Gumiho getting all of his forces together there. He's got to be very careful. Getting a pre-stim out, and is immediately moving on to creep to put some pressure here. Solar overcommitting just a little bit, and Gumiho is looking really, really good so far. Target firing some of those Banelings down.
Man, if only they could see the faces I'm making right now. I'm just squinting as hard as I can. I'm like, oh my dear lord, those Banelings are getting so close, just pulling away again, giving Gumiho a little bit of breathing room. More Marines streaming in here. The Marauders are gonna try their best to tank those Baneling shots, but oh, the concussive shell helping out so much as well, really making Solar regret when every time he pushes it forward. But there's still a lot of Mutalisk in here available. I think Solar may have cleaned this up for now. But then again, oh my god. I don't know.
These compositions are really interesting because they're self-balancing. So Solar's going to, well, I'll talk about it in a minute. Solar here is going to continue to clean it out here with the Mutalisks off creep and the Banelings going forward here. Gumiho, though, streaming reinforcements forward. Both these players willing to commit everything to this attack right now.
Yeah, just non-stop aggression right now for a long time. The Widowmines unfortunately did get picked off before they managed to get their shots off on those Mutalisks. That may have turned a favor into Gumiho's courts here, but unfortunately for him that did not occur. He still has a lot of Marauders here ready to pick off those Banelings, but I don't know, maybe he's a bit lackluster on the Marine count here against those Mutalisk.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say a little bit earlier. One of the reasons I really like these two compositions is because it's self-balancing. So the more Marauders that are still alive to tank the Baneling hits, the more effective the Mutalisks get. And the more Banelings that get taken down, or the more Mutalisks that get taken down by Marines, obviously, the more effective the Mutalisks get. So both players are trying to juggle this composition evenly. If anybody goes off too far one way or too far the other, so if Gumiho is all Mutalisk, or if Gumiho is all Marauder, he dies. And if Solar is all Baneling, he dies as well. They've got to keep their armies very well balanced.
That's very true indeed. Yeah, it's a very interesting way how this is going to go down. Actually, more Banelings. Oh my dear lord. They're just not giving us any rest, are they?
Off of creep yet.
Okay, well, I'm just going to sit quiet here for a moment and watch these Banelings move back and forth. It is
Little Zerg being run by it looks like at the 4th of Gumiho as well, picking off 7 SCVs so far. This is the kind of thing that Solar needs to do to really make sure that he's winning the game. If he holds off this engagement for long enough, if he's able to do the economic damage back home for Gumiho, he'll be great. Of course, Gumiho has to break this 4th base or the game is going to be over. He cannot delay anymore now that he's lost 15 SCVs. And here we see Solar washing over Gumiho, getting a lot of great Baneling hits. But again, the Marine count very high, so all the Marauders, all the Banelings down. And wow, Solar just going to go ahead and engage with these Mutalisks. This could be the end for Gumiho.
very well might be, and yes, it is actually. Wow, taking the 3rd game here, Solar. Now that battle took like I feel like that battle took more longer than the initial startup of the game did. Honestly, I was just non-stop battling going on in the middle of the map here, going back and forth. Those were like 2 production lines going into one another, like two, well, the Gallic gun and the Kamehameha coming in as well at the same time, and just trying to go back and forth.
I was going to say it looked like an auto battler, like they were both both chose their tech choices and they were all going up against each other.
All right. Very interesting
like
map
Solar
choice
needs a bit
here
of a
from
break
Solar. Alright, anyway. Gumiho is going to get a next map choice, and we are going tit for tat here a little bit, which is always the most fun for a best of series, where then that guy takes a map, then that guy takes a map, then this guy suddenly takes a map. Yeah, but
yeah, good to see him staying in neck and neck. It's very exciting, of course, when a player does like a reverse all kill, goes down 0-4, and then just steamrolls the last 5 games. But there's always like that feeling of dread hanging over your head when a player does that. Like, oh man, if they make one mistake, this is just over.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're playing an NPC where a 12 pool or a good 2 racks is it's got like a 50-50 shot of winning.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, honestly. The one thing I would say about like the reverse all sweep, like it really gets interesting, right? Especially when the reverse sweep starts to happen. That's just StarCraft magic, right? Right there. But the thing is, right, before you get there, right, you also get this feeling sometimes where it's just like, oh, this just seems a little bit one-sided over here right now, and you know that. Sometimes that does start me to lose interest. Of course, it all comes back as the reverse sweep starts happening, but if they go 1-for-1, neck and neck, continuously trading blows, that is just continuously keeping me on the edge of my seat. And I'm very curious to see if Gumiho and Solar manage to keep this up.
Yeah, Solar on a 2-game winning streak right now. We'll have to see if he can keep it up. Looks like both of our players are ready to go, though, as we drop into what is already my favorite map of the new map pool, Disco Bloodbath, LE. I've been practicing for this map all week, Kozan. I've been listening to my 1970s Spotify playlist.
Oh boy!
I've been trying on Afro wigs at the wig shop. It's gonna be great.
Oof, oof. You know what? I'm almost willing to just let you solo cast this one if that's the case then. But you know what? I can't step down between Gumiho and Solar. This is just something I gotta scream about. It's just something that's gotta happen here.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't dream of it. I definitely need your help. You know more about these new maps than I do, so I need all the help I can get. As excited as I am about the maps, I need somebody who actually knows what they're talking about just a little bit.
Oh, you'd be surprised with how much I just suck out of my thumbs as we go along. It's a Dutch expression, I believe, more so than an English expression. But anyway. I'm sure it works, right? In the in the 4
I knew
o'clock.
what you were saying.
You know what I'm talking about, right? All right. So, in the 4 o'clock location, we have the blue Zerg player right now up with 1 point on the board. He is from TS Gaming, Solar.
By the way, Kozan, have you seen the Triumphant Song Gaming jackets that those guys wear?
I must have at one point. I think I must have,
Man,
right?
they're incredible. They're like black silk with like gold embroidery with a dragon on the back. They look so dope. It's incredible.
Dear Lord.
I wish I could buy one so badly. And unfortunately, with a slightly less cool jacket, but still a great team in the red,
Man.
playing as Terran from Psystorm Gaming, it is Gumiho.
Throwing in some shade about his his team clothing.
I mean, come on, the Psystorm jackets are all right, but they're like windbreakers. They're definitely not as cool as the Psystorm Gaming, which is just the dopest, flyest looking outfit I think I've ever seen for a professional gaming company. They're so good,
right.
man. They're so good.
Well, yeah. I think sometimes it's very noticeable. Honestly, though, oh my god, do you remember the Axiom shirts as well? I thought those were just absolutely amazing.
Oh, I don't think I do. I've got some Googling to do after this game.
Axiom Gaming, oh my dear lord, I'm still blown away with every time I see them. Like, I think they're so good that, well, I guess it's also the organization, right? People just love that organization. It's the ones that were in that gaming team, but yeah, they're still wearing those t-shirts, right? Even though the team has been unfortunately disbanded for quite a while now. But yeah, it used to be Total Biscuits, his team, of course.
Yeah. I mean, heck, I just saw Parting is starting to stream again. I saw on Twitter today that Jenna Bain apparently gifted 200 subscriptions to Parting's channel. Like,
what in the world?
What a generous, amazing pair of humans. Like, Jenna is so great. So we're so lucky to have generous and positive people like that in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 100% agree with you. Man, she's just giving that amount of subs to a lot of channels these days, it seems.
I was a little salty. I was watching the Pylon show and she gave about 200 subscriptions on the Pylon show. And there were only like 600 people watching. And somehow I was not one of the gifted streams. I was offended. I was hurt. I had lost a lottery that I felt certain I could win.
Yeah, you know what? It's still 1 in 3 chance then, I suppose. But
yeah, it wasn't too bad.
I mean, even when I'm in a Twitch channel with 1,000 players and like they gift out 10, I'm still like, how did I not get it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah. I still feel you see all the names scrolling by in chat. Come on, big money, no whammy. So Solar going for 3 bases again, getting the Overlord speed again. Very similar opening here from Solar, who feels very comfortable in what has helped him win the last 2 games. And look at that, Gumiho making some space, going for the Cloaked Banshees for game number 4.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
A tactical pause coming out of Gumiho here.
Yeah.
Something.
This is always nerve-wracking. Is it going to be a little thing? Is there going to be like a mosquito in his apartment? Or is it going to be that his keyboard is caught on fire or something?
He had an itchy nose for a moment. That's.
I'd be lying if I said I had paused a game, like a ladder game, for similar reasons. Very occasionally, but there we go. Ready to go again. Thank you. I'm
sure they should be able to, right? They should. All right, yeah. I think they were thinking we were the admins, but I didn't really make myself an admin here. I'm leaving this in the hands of the game. It's...
Yeah, that's very dangerous. You've got to make yourself a referee next game.
Yeah.
I usually make that mistake in my chat when I'm streaming, and people start to talk smack about me when I've forgotten to make myself a referee, because then I can't respond to them because they can't see what I'm typing because I'm just an observer.
Well, luckily
oh my gosh, Gumiho not doing Cloak Banshee again. Whoa!
What? Opening up with a Raven?
And a Fusion Core behind it? Oh, Gumiho, he's here for the memes, friends. He is here for the memes.
Yeah, Lord, I'm very curious to see this work out, actually. I mean, together with the Raven and the Hellions, right? If you combine those 2 forces, you're going to be able to clean up creep like an absolute madman. And then, behind that, having the battlecruisers. I suppose the battlecruiser is going to be quite delayed, right? But overall, because you do have that big initial investment into the Raven with all your gas, but... I don't know. That's very interesting.
Yeah, that is a fascinating build from Gumiho. It looks like he's not going to be too delayed on that battlecruiser, spending a little bit of money to get those Hellions out, and starting a third base again as well. Gumiho must feel so confident on these new maps, expanding the third base with just a battlecruiser and a couple of Hellions behind.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to come up with reasons why he would feel this confidence. I mean, maybe it's a little bit more of a risk, or maybe he just knows something that we don't. Maybe he's just like, you know what, you need to prep for battle cruisers, right? If you need to prep for battle cruisers, you're gonna have to build spore crawlers, you're gonna have to build queens, you're gonna have to invest a lot in kind of static defense that doesn't really want to leave the base. I guess the one thing that can really knock your shoes off is something like a Nidus Worm. But we've not really seen that come out of Solar yet.
Yeah, we've only seen one Swarm host out from Solar, and that was definitely an accident. Look at all the... Solar has taken 5 gases already, getting that Spire up at only 5 minutes and 44. He should be well ready for these battle cruisers, even with Yamato. I feel like he's probably going to get a lot of Corruptors out a lot earlier than he did last game. And maybe should be able to deal with this a little bit more easily than he did last time. Let's see again if Gumiho decides to warp that battlecruiser or jump that battlecruiser right across the map, or if he's going to wait a little while longer. Nah, he's just moving it slowly across the map. Ooh, leaves the front door down though, and Zergling's getting in to the natural and to the third.
Yeah, killing off quite a couple here. The battlecruiser at the same time trying his best to get damage done as well. Trading 3 for 3 workers here. Not too bad. Might be able to pick off a Overlord as well. Oh, it leaves it alone. That's it.
He's got to be cautious, though. He's already used the tactical jump for that battlecruiser, so...
That's true. That is very true. That's a good point. Doesn't want to overcommit for a singular Overlord, of course.
But behind it, of course, we see Gumiho lifting off that barracks, going for a scouting barracks again, so we are going to see Gumiho commit again to a totally mech style with no bio underneath it. So expect to see Hellbats, Cyclones, and a battlecruiser this time. No Banshees, though.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed we're not seeing the Banshees.
They served him so well in game number 1. But he's got to have a plan for it. He's Gumiho. He doesn't do anything without having a plan, so I'm confident that he knows what he's up to. Ooh, look at that, scrubbing in siege tanks much earlier this game than he did last time.
Do you think it could just be like one of those builds that he really doesn't want to use more than once in a series because he just doesn't think it can work multiple times in the series?
The Banshee build?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, maybe. I feel like it's... Oh, no, this poor Raven. Oh, dear. This poor Raven is going to get caught for its sin. Getting taken down. A little bit of good auto turret harass that went down with it, but yeah, 4 kills, not the best.
I mean, it got more than the battlecruiser, right? So...
I suppose that is true, yeah. But yeah, man, again, Gumi committing really heavily to the battlecruisers. A nice goop there, though, from Solar, who's going to stop the building of those battlecruisers for just a little while longer. And every second counts here.
Absolutely, yeah. Man, I mean, it's going to be tricky here, making those battlecruisers still work, especially because Solar has been aware of them for so long. Like, I feel like he just should be able to make a counter against them right now, and that's what he's doing. He has a lot of Corruptors out on the field, 10 Corruptors actually. It's going to completely annihilate any type of battlecruiser army.
Yeah, and he's pushing in here. We can see his army supply significantly ahead of where Gumiho is. Of course, a lot of that's in Roaches and Ravagers, so the army supply isn't exactly ideal. It doesn't really represent what he's got. But again, setting up for a flank attack, this is gorgeous. He's going to distract the siege tank fire from 2 different sides. He's trying to force the Yamato out of those battlecruisers. Isn't going to get it, though. Waiting until he gets the last of the Cyclones down before moving in with those Corruptors. What a beautiful engagement from Solar, who's going to crush through everything Gumiho had. The poor battlecruisers, the only thing that's left, but there are so many Zerg units on top of his third base. I think this one's out of Gumiho's hands, Kozan.
I feel like you're absolutely right. Now, it's just too many Roaches, too many Corruptors. And there it is, GG being called by Gumiho. Going down with 2 points right now. To Solar. Yeah, like, it just seems like he's so incredibly confident and exactly knows what to do against those battlecruisers. Battlecruiser tactic, of course, has been being used for a while now by Terrans. And that's why I feel like we need to start looking into something else for Terrans to start doing other than the battlecruiser. Maybe just a singular battlecruiser, maybe 2 battlecruisers, but sticking into the battlecruisers for that long of a period, I feel like just Zergs have figured out how to deal with it very efficiently.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is the beauty of StarCraft. I was gonna say StarCraft 2, but StarCraft and Brood War is that the meta shifts so fluidly between seasons, between months, between weeks, even. Where a few months ago we saw this battlecruiser harass happening, and it was one battlecruiser, and then it went into what we've seen from Gumiho now, where it's many battlecruisers. But when we see a player like Solar adjusting to it, of course, the tide is going to turn. It's going to shift just a little bit back, and we'll see what happens next. So let's see if Solar can pull it out here in Game 5.
Really hope he can. Well, yeah. Well, I'm not sure if I hope. I think I'm hoping for Gumiho to pull it out, just so we have more games. But that's just me. Anyway, let's take a brief moment as well to give a huge shout out to one of the other wonderful sponsors. It is 24-Hour Fitness, and well, for over 30 years. 24-Hour Fitness has been dedicated to helping people achieve their fitness goals, getting them ready for the beach. Well, I mean, if you want to get ready for next year's summer, if you start now, oh my dear Lord, you're going to look absolutely amazing next time. So 24-Hour Fitness can help you with that. They can help you set up a plan. They have some awesome personal trainers. They have 436 locations in the United States, even some in Europe as well, which are excluded out of that 436 number. So they're above 436. Anyway, also fully equipped with weights, cardio machines, studio classes, and even swimming pools. Absolutely anything you need. And yeah, go check them out, guys. They are supporting StarCraft 2 scene. And well, I mean, if you have to work out anyway, right? We all have to. We all gotta. And you got a 24-hour fitness in your neighborhood. Why not just go there, right? Just show your appreciation for them appreciating StarCraft. That just makes a lot of sense to me.
You know, Kozan, it's a real shame you don't have me on camera right now. I'm flexing in front of my webcam right now, and my guns are so enormous. My muscles are so big, and it's because I work out at 24-hour fitness. So I've got to say, if you're not going to a 24-hour fitness, you could look as good as I do. Even though you can't see me right now, I promise you, my biceps are like Arnold Schwarzenegger, man.
I believe you immediately, honestly. I mean...
That's very believable.
Yeah. Oh, it's a shame that on the picture you have the jacket, of course, which are hiding your enormous muscles.
My massive pythons, that's right. Well, Kozan, make sure you put Gumiho into the game unless you want to play Solar for game number 5. That could be a very short game.
Right. That's a good call, actually. I mean, I do play Terran. We might be able to get away with it, but I think people will notice. People will definitely notice, most likely. Let's ask if the players are still ready for this. Solar practicing some hotkeying there. 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, and 5A. And he typed it out in less than half a second, guys, let me tell you.
I'm always impressed with the Koreans, how they can switch back and forth between their English keyboard setups and their Korean keyboard setups so quickly. And anytime I shift my keys from English to Korean, it takes me like a minute and a half to get back into the groove. But it looks like both these players are ready to go, so we can go ahead and start that countdown. 10 of my favorite beeps in the world, Kozan.
Oh yeah, it's such a good sound, isn't it?
There is something psychologically about it that just gets me ready.
Oh, you get the shivers. It's like every little beep. It's amazing.
It's Pavlovian at this point, where I don't even have to play a StarCraft game. I just have to hear the beeps, and I'm like, "Where's the StarCraft game? Let's go! I'm ready to play. I'm ready to play."
Absolutely, I agree with you, man. It's so good. It's a nice way of putting it, actually. Yeah, it's truly Pavlovian.
Absolutely. Well, our next map going to be Triton. So this is another one of the new maps, and it is absolutely gorgeous.
Right, let me quickly get these scores up and rolling, and we'll introduce the players in the top left corner of the map. From the Korean homeland, he is representing Storm Gaming. The red Terran, he is Gumiho.
And his opponent in the bottom right of Triton LE. In the blue, hailing from South Korea and playing for Triumphant Song Gaming, it is Solar. Solar putting down a pool first as well. Solar.
Very naughty stuff going on here by Solar. Perhaps
Oh
not.
man, this couldn't get any more aggressive from it. Look at that. The gas cancel, the early extractor. This is going to be a lot of Zerglings really, really fast, Kozan.
Yeah. We're very quickly gonna get a lot of blood on this white snowy map here. And, well, honestly, it does look the greatest on these white surfaces, I have to say. It sounds a little bit, how do you call this? Not violent, I don't know. Anyway, maybe a little bit, like I'm a crazy psychopath, but I have to say...
You're a poet, Kozan. Blood on the snow is very poetic.
Thank
You're not
you.
a psychopath. You just see the beauty in all things.
It looks amazing, I have to say. It's unfortunate that most pro gamers don't like the snow maps, because it does start to hurt their eyes if they have to play for it for a longer period of time.
Sure.
But,
So,
yeah.
Zergling's already coming across the map here for Solar, and he wants to, if nothing else, delay the low ground command center that's going down for Gumiho. Now, the rush distance on this map seems to be very long. Look at the circuitous path that those Zerglings are taking all the way around.
Yeah, just in case, I feel like there might be a, well, SCV scout as well. Or, well, also, of course, the Reaper scout. Coming out
Oh, and
here
that
now.
Reaper's going to get all the way across the map before those Zerglings get there. So by the time the Zerglings hit, the Reaper's going to be way out of position here. And the Zerglings should have a good chance at stopping the building of Gumiho's natural command center, which is going to be... Oh my god, and he's adding on a tech lab as well, or a reactor rather. Oh no, Gumiho in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, definitely gonna feel the pain early on in this game here. The reactor, luckily for him though, is gonna finish off, so he will be able to repair that. The Zerglings aren't just gonna jump on top of it. Actually, the Zerglings just continue with, well, trying to kill off the command center here. Really forcing Gumiho to be delayed here. And the Reaper as well. Actually gonna go down immediately to this very quick Speedling upgrade.
Man, Solar is in a good position this game. Forces the cancel from Gumiho. Cancels out that Reaper, so he loses all of his scouting. Of course, Gumiho is going to go to a very safe double Hellion build from here on out to try and crank out as many Hellions as he can against those Zerglings. But Solar is not taking the bait. He's not overcommitting. Look at his production tab. 5 more drones.
That is a good amount indeed. Yeah, he's just gonna drone up ahead right now, as Gumiho is going to be delayed with his economy. I guess I'm kind of curious to see. There's a medevac on the way. There's Hellions on the way as well. I feel like Gumiho does feel the pressure to try and get some work done, even putting down a tech lab. Very curious to see if we will see Stim started, or if that starport is gonna fly over and become a Banshee port in a moment here.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, a nice win there for Solar, who keeps that Overlord alive for a little bit of scouting. But yeah, Gumiho is going to go for the 4 Hellion drop here very quickly. I think as soon as those last 2 Hellions pop out, or pardon me, they already should be loaded up into that medevac, which is now steaming across the map. He's going to try and get a lot of economic damage done as he starts with, good call there, Kozan, was he starts with the Banshee production.
There it is. There it is.
In his main base.
Well, I was just hoping. It was just good faith, hoping we were going to see the Banshees again, and there they are. Bringing them out again. Now, of course, we have seen him start off with Banshees before, just going up to 2 Banshees and then trading back into, well, changing back into the bioplay. Oh, the Ling gets in. That is very unfortunate.
What a scout for Solar. Now, the drop is going down in the main base of Solar right now, so the Hellions are trying to roast as many drones as they can, and actually 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 drones going to go down. This is not a bad drop at all there for Gumiho. That's exactly what he needed to get back into this game.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. That's a very significant amount of damage, even getting out with all of his Hellions there, didn't he? Yes, he did. Wow, very well played.
You know, I was a little nervous for Gumiho when he was getting into this Banshee transition because, of course, he just only now finishes his second base. Well, the Zergling did spot that Banshee coming across, which is nice. But Gumiho's second base, of course, so far delayed because of that early Ling pressure from Solar, and he's starting this tech transition, and I was thinking to myself, Gumiho, you don't have the capability, the economy, the breathing room, really, to do a big tech transition. But he is showing no fear, and with that drop, I think he's now in a really good spot to try and continue doing damage with these Banshees and move into some sort of Hellbat mech play from here on out.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm just kind of curious to see how much damage this Banshee can do, again, with like 2 Spore Crawlers and like 26 screens already on the map. Somehow, some way, this Banshee is gonna get 25 kills on the drones, of course.
Beautifully done. And yeah, Gumiho getting a big mech army out here. I mean, look at the army supply right now. Gumiho ready for a full-out attack, and that armory is finished. So that's going to be Hellbats, not just Hellions, which is even more terrifying.
Okay, so actually...
Gumiho's setting up, going on to creep here at the natural expansion. If you look down, we can see that entire army now morphed into Hellbats. The Overseers are on the way, but the Banshees are doing a lot of damage. Ooh, he loses one Banshee there for no reason. Oh my god, those aren't Overseers. That was a Dropper Lord. So the Cloak Banshee, okay, is going to get picked down. Thank goodness, finally. But the Hellbats doing insane damage here at the natural for Gumiho.
They really are. They need to get on top of those drones though. Right now just going for the queens, and that means they'll slowly but surely will be cleaned up by the reinforcing roaches here. 6 drones go down. I guess there is more aggression. There's 2 marines actually going wild on that queen right there. Not really managing to do a lot.
Talk about a missed opportunity there. 8 live Hellbats in the natural, and only 6 drones go down. Unbelievable.
I feel like those 2 marines.
Is that a 4 queen drop in that Dropper Lord?
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
I thought that for
is
a moment,
4 queens in a Dropper Lord.
I thought for a moment that was like a misclick or something, but no, actually that's very smart. Just making in here, getting the queens, and now chasing down the Banshee with a Dropper Lord and 4 queens. That's really
he's
cool.
going to push that Banshee out. Is he going to go across the map, start spreading some creep with an Overlord, and then drop the queens to get an immediate like creep spread on the other side of the map? That would be so bold. But you know, earlier we said look at the supply for Gumiho, but this time look at the supply for Solar, who is now in a position of weakness and needs to attack. But already Gumiho defending, turtling up so hard. 3 bunkers, 1 siege tank, another siege tank just about to pop out here. He looks like he's in pretty good nick here, even though this Roach Ravager Zergling army is coming.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like he should be able to hold on here with this amount of defense set up. But then again, of course, those Ravagers are very, very good at slowly whittling down defenses. It's gonna come down to control, really. Well, I mean, Solar does need to have vision. Of course, first of all, good repairs coming down on that supply depot. Not allowing him to be cracked that easily.
Yeah, vision's going to be really, really key in the upcoming battle. Of course, the Vikings are going to be fighting for air dominance because they need to scout for the siege tanks. But we need the Zerg player. Solar needs high ground vision to be able to drop those corrosive biles where he wants them to. So both these players are going to be fighting for air dominance. But right now, of course, 4 queens against 2 Vikings is an interesting play there, depending on how the repairs go and how solid the transfuses are.
Absolutely. All right, actually going in with this Overseer here. A little bit of a... an interesting move. Maybe he felt unsure at what Gumiho was still doing. If he was going to go for the mech or the... Well, that's another interesting move. The Banshee. Committing...
Just sacrificing that Banshee, yeah. I love this, though. The queens in the Dropper Lord. That is something you rarely see outside of like a Gold League game. And to be able to spread that, well, luckily Gumiho is going to be able to clean up that creep immediately, establish those siege tanks, and push back the attack from Solar. Solar now desperately droning, adding on that Baneling Nest, rather, and just trying to get his economy back up from the incredible drop that Solar had, or that Gumiho had earlier in the game. Oh, queens, bless your hearts. That's painful to watch.
Yeah. That is the downside, I guess. As soon as you lose that Overlord, all those queens are kind of like in no man's land. Trying to waddle back, but yeah, obviously not going to get there.
Yeah, this is a really interesting place that we've arrived in the game now. I mean, the players looking fairly even now after initial wins by Solar, a good riposte by Gumiho, who was able to drive his blade through the leg of Solar with that Hellion drop. And now we see Gumiho trying to get out on the map and do something done. This is going to be scouted by the Overlord, though, so Solar should know exactly where to defend. We see him rotating his army already to try and protect that 3rd base.
And he rolls with the Roaches and the Zergling. That's a lot of Zerglings. There's no flank set up yet, which would be absolutely amazing against these siege tanks, of course. Right there he goes now.
He's listening to your cast, Kozan.
Actually, he's going to go for the counter-attack, is he?
Just all the way across the map. I love this play. He's got enough Banelings back home, and he knows that that Gumiho needs a lot of time to make this work. The siege tanks are set up, but they're so far back, and the creep spread isn't very good right now. So the battle, this is again the battle we saw in game number 2, where we're going to see those Banelings trying to take things off, but Gumiho with a couple of nice initial Baneling snipes is going to be able to put a lot of pressure on this 3rd base as we wait for Solar's Banelings to roll back in. Yeah,
he needs to have that Baneling speed finish up as well, but he doesn't look like he has the time to. That hatchery just barely being saved. Zerglings coming in from behind as well. Right, Solar managing to successfully defend. Right, there he goes now, finishing off the last of these forces. But Gumiho not out of this yet. Still gonna try his best to get that snipe on that hatchery. It's so incredibly low, Creighton. You just need like 2 Marauder shots.
39 health, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Gumiho active with another drop here at the 4th that just finished up as well. Again, 8, 9 drones going down. This is exactly what Gumiho needs. Starve your opponent out. Take a look at the income graph if you have the chance.
Of course.
We can see it spiking wildly in favor of one player and then the other. Solar just sort of getting ahead, and then immediately the pressure from Gumiho causing that graph to even back out.
Coming back in, sniping of the hatchery. Very, very well played here.
Gumiho doing a really smart thing here, sending, he's doing what I call the little bighorn, which is sending your small army to do a small task and then come in the other side with your much larger army. And Gumiho is putting himself in a really, really nice position here at the end of Game 5, pushing through with all of that bio. And there's the GG from Solar. Gumiho is going to pull it back to come back to 2-3 in Game number 5.
That was something else, dude. That was really cool to see. That just kept going back and forth. Yeah, absolutely. Man, without those Hellions coming in, killing off all those drones, my god, Gumiho would not have gotten himself into that position there. But then again, like, well, man, I'm not sure if that would have happened though if Solar hadn't gone for those earlier Zerglings either. It's just so many what if scenarios in those types of games. It's like mind-boggling to think about, honestly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So it looks like our next map choice has been chosen here. Solar picking another one of the new maps, World of Sleepers, LE. Of course, we've gone through the 2 maps that are from the old map pool, Acropolis and Thunderbird. So now all we're left with is the other 5 new Season 3 maps. World of Sleepers. We saw did we see 2 games on it last week? Or earlier in the week? I think we just saw 1 game on this.
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe. Yeah.
It's so hard to keep the new maps straight sometimes.
I think we saw 2 maps on Disco Bloodbath and 2 maps on... No, wait, not Triton. I'm not sure, actually. It's weird. I always think that Triton is like the Winter's Gate as well right now, because...
Oh, right.
It looks like a Winter's Gate to me as well.
Yeah, very similar tile sets. Who are we waiting on here?
It seems to be Gumiho. Right.
Oh, I can't tell from my overlay.
Wait, you have an overlay?
No, just from the UI that I've got. I can't see Gumiho's little icons, so I'm not sure the one person we're waiting on. Maybe he needs a toilet break as well. Tactical pause. Oh, Gumiho left the party. He's so happy after winning that game. He's just like, nah, I'm out of here. I've done what I need to do.
He may have had a little bit of a disconnect. He's no longer online, it seems.
Ah, okay.
Right. Well, then we can take a short moment here, guys. Let's talk about the one and only GameStop. They are working with Matcherino as well, providing, you know what, the fuel for the grassroots of all sorts of competitive gaming going around the web. Hundreds of amateur tournaments being made possible by these 2 giants in the esports community. And, well, they allow you to compete and win as well. Of course, go check it out on gamestop.com/esports to sign up for free. Gumiho is already back. That is lovely. Right. Very, very good.
Rock and roll. Man, I love it. Gumiho finally clawing his way back. I was a little worried he might win the first game, and then Solar would win the next 5, and we'd call it a night there. Yeah. But Gumiho fighting back a little bit. It's always good to see.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can't join. He can't join.
Oh, dear.
Rejoin again. Should we just try to... Should we just get into the lobby and then invite him, perhaps?
Sure. Give that a go and see how it works. It's very fun doing tech support in the client, because you're never sure what the problem really is.
Alright, now we have Romsley not pressing ready. Oh my dear lord.
What on earth is going on?
Is this me? Is this my problem? No, okay, there we go. Okay, now lobby link towards Gumiho. Gumiho is not online. Okay, well. That's just unfortunate. Anyway, wait, he is online. Why is he not allowing me to send... Okay, now
The Korean
I guess he
internet-
just got online. That must be the reason.
Ah, okay. So, man, maybe his Korean internet's going on as well. Maybe it's a nationwide problem.
Maybe you have the same provider.
There's an EMP from North Korea that's just sweeping across Seoul that we haven't noticed yet. It's not in the news. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh, it still needs to be fixed. Let's see if we can get him in through this way.
And don't forget to make yourself a referee this time, just in case
All
something
right.
terrible happens. Again, unless you want to play Solar, which if there is money to contribute to a Solar Kozan show match,
Ooh.
I am all about it.
Ooh. I mean, getting myself some of that prize pool. Solar has left the lobby. Huh.
Well, for those of us who haven't yet,
room-
if you're
okay,
interested
we'll
in
make the
show
room then.
matches, be sure to head to the Matcherino page and donate. The Matcherino is such a great way. They're so generous to give us these codes, guys. So if you haven't yet, there's a link at the very top of the Afriga chat that you can just cut and paste into your browser, that Matcherino link, and then all you've got to do is click the sign in button. Sign in using your Twitch account. You don't have to do much of anything. If your Twitch account's stored on the computer, it just harvests that from you. Type in the code APS106, and you'll donate 50 additional cents to the show matches to keep these things alive and give the players just a little bit of a bonus. I always like to think of it as a bonus for how exciting their games are. If their games are super exciting, I think more people are likely to type in that Matcherino code. So these guys know it, and anything we can do to support these players for going out of their way to play these wonderful best of 9 show matches for us, anything you can do for them is highly recommended. The Matcherino is so easy, so you've got no excuse during
No
this break in the
excuses.
action.
Yeah. Like, I want to kind of show as well, like, the other stuff of the website. But, you know what, I'm just busy now making the making the lobby. I'm preoccupied,
Yeah, man.
Creighton.
Hey, it's all right. I am.
Invite me, please.
I'm
Rumley
really
now
good at-
also having difficulties. Oh my dear lord. Right, and there's a ginormous truck just rolling over my house as well.
I was gonna say it sounded like you were on a motorcycle somewhere. That's really exciting.
Well, you can't see, but actually, I don't have a chair. I have a motorcycle I sit upon.
Okay,
my
that's
room.
dope. You're sponsored by some big famous motorcycle company. Yeah, we
Maybe
may have to
redo
remake
it.
this entire party. So I'm going to go
Alright.
ahead and leave the party, I think, and we'll try again from scratch.
Okay, okay.
Get
Alright.
that sweet Kawasaki sponsorship and just get a motorcycle.
Yeah, man. Well, I suppose I do want to see the motorcycle if I'm streaming then. Gumiho says, wait a second as well. I'll be inviting people to the party again. Get Romsley in. Get Cure in. Get you in. Everybody in the party.
We're getting there, slowly and surely. So, Kozan, what's the next show match that's going on after this? Do you know who's up next?
Putting me on the spot here, Creighton. No,
Oh, sorry, I didn't want to...
No, it's all good. It's all good. Let's see. We do have Justice Simon versus Starkiller in Alpha Fights coming on the way. That should be at 5 p.m. Central Europe, summertime. So that would be for you, Korean time. It's not actually mentioned in Korean time. Sometimes they do, but...
It's like 3 in the morning or something terrible, I'm sure.
Well, I think that should be around. Let me calculate this. So, we started at 6 for you. That was 11 for me. So there's a 7-hour difference. So that should be actually at 12 o'clock in the evening. Might still be something you'll be able to catch if you.
That'd be great, man. I love Starkiller. One of my first big matches that I ever got to cast was a Starkiller match, and it was one of those epic Terran versus Terrans, and it was about 3 hours long for the best of 3.
Oh.
You know, one of those 400 Vikings on the map sort of matches that was tons of fun. So I've got good respect for Starkiller. He's a great player, man.
Yeah, he really is. He's also a really nice guy overall. Like,
Oh, that's so good to hear. The fame hasn't gone to his head then?
no, absolutely not. And then, let me see, what else do we have on the way? There's a Pro League as well being played 3 hours after the Alpha Fights event, which is also today.
Wow.
There's Hasu Players, which starts 1 hour after the clan war, actually. There's another. There's my motorcycle again, guys. Don't mind me. I just like to show off now and again. Real showboat.
Some sponsors, you have to do the ad read. So when you're talking about 24-hour fitness, you've got to be like, they've got 436 locations all over America. And then for the Kawasaki ad, you just rev your motorcycle really loud a couple times. And they're like, yeah, that's all it takes to sell our motorcycle. We're still waiting on Gumiho to get in, right?
Yeah, I think he might be restarting his entire PC, perhaps.
Wow. All right. Well, that's no problem. Gives you time for another ad read, right?
True, true. Yeah, well, you know, I don't want to go over the top with them. You know, some people don't appreciate it as much. You know what we can do, though? I'm not sure. All right, so here we go. Here we go. To the browser. I hope this is set up correctly. All right, it is. That's very good. All right, so this is the Matcherino page, guys. So if you do want to help out these players, look, we're not that far ahead yet. We need to get this higher, guys. We need to get this price up higher, and this is how we do it, right? It's very simple. Wait, it just turned white because I signed out. That's all part of the thing, all right? I sign in over here. You look over here. You can use Battle.net. You can use Facebook, Google+, Twitch, or Twitter. I'm going to use Twitch because that's what I always do. And here is what you do. Next, you press on Contribute. So how far is that? That's like 3 clicks so far. Then we press Ctrl-V, or we just type in APS 106. There we go. That will add 50 cents to the prize pool, and you press this button over here. So that's like, I've already used it, so that's why it's not working for me right now. But that's it. That's all you gotta do. Nothing else is gonna happen, and you're contributing to the entire esports scene of StarCraft 2, but in particular, these two players that we are watching right now. If you feel like, you know what, I need to do more, I want to give more back without actually hurting my own pocket, there's other stuff you can do as well. There's some quests over here that you can actually help out with. So for example, follow AlphaX SC2 on Twitter. Also adds 15 cents to the prize pool. Subscribing to Wally TV. You know what, if you haven't already, I don't know, you're not a true StarCraft fan, or a true StarCraft fan anyway, so make sure to do those things. Thought for a moment I just completely whiffed the name of StarCraft, but
I've done that before, where I've talked about a game and I've been like, "Oh, this is a great game," and it was not StarCraft. It was something else.
Oh
yeah. Man! All right, we're finally back up to 7 in the party. Can we create this lobby? Oh man! World
Fingers crossed.
LE. Come on, StarCraft client, don't let me down. Uh oh.
No, I still believe. Somebody is just not paying attention. Gumiho can't join.
How strange.
You can't see replay. Interesting.
Oh dear. Oh, Gumiho
can't make room either. Oh boy.
I can't search ladder.
Oh my god, everything going into absolute disarray here. There's some drama going on. Dramatic things happening all around. I don't know. Well, Creighton, what else can we talk about? So, are you more of a cat person or a dog person? Is that...
We're going straight to the essential questions.
Absolutely.
Oh, poor Gumiho. When I've had this problem before, I've had to reinstall my entire client. Man, I hope it doesn't come down to that. A cat person or a dog person, that's a tough one. I like both of them, which I know is sort of a cop-out answer, but I grew up with cats, but my brother's way into dogs now, and I love both of his dogs. I've got nothing against either of those animals, so as long as I take my allergy pill, I'm in pretty good shape.
Wait, you're allergic to both of them, or just dogs, or just cats?
You know, it's interesting. I haven't been allergic to them in the past. Of course, like I said, I grew up with a cat.
Yeah.
And now I have a friend who has cats, and I go over to their place every now and then. And every time I go, I'm fine for the first couple hours, and then by about the second hour that I'm there, my nose starts running, and I start getting clogged up, and I start sneezing a lot. And so I think I've developed a cat allergy, or at least to her cats.
Just her cats in particular. Maybe. Maybe it's just something you eat or drink there. That could be too. Maybe. Probably not, right? I'm not sure if that's the same type of allergic reaction you get from those types of things. You know, I have no idea, actually. I think I'm allergic to dust. Dust in the air.
Oh, yeah. That can be it. Well, it looks like Gumiho's back in. We're going to see if we can get things fixed up. He says he's got a couple more things working now. So hopefully we can make the room and then invite him here. And then,
right.
Oh God, please don't make me play.
I will make you play, actually. I'm gonna get Gumiho in my call here, and he's gonna commentate with me. He's gonna talk
terrifying.
about
Please,
everything you're doing wrong. Creating everything.
I'm a much better commentator than I'm a player.
He's gonna point out all your faults and everything you do wrong. And I'm just gonna sit here and laugh, as I know that I would do the exact same things, and I'm not being criticized at that time. Anyway, alright.
Yes, both of our players are given the go. We're finally ready to get going here with game number 6 between Gumiho and Solar. What a series it has been so far, and I'm finally ready to see what these boys pull out on our second to last map of the new map pool, World of Sleepers LE.
Alright, glad that is fixed up. Do you read Korean, Creighton?
Very, very little. I know that Sugo is what they type when they're ready to rock and roll.
Okay. I don't know how they write Sugo, though.
Okay, yeah. So Sugo is... I'll explain it to you later, but anytime you see that little... I can show it to you.
Private time. It's all good. You're going to give me some
There are a couple
Korean.
ways to write it down. The Sugo is just like the base form, and then they can add on the verb form, because in Korean sentences, the verb actually comes at the end. So like in English, we would say, like, I kick the ball. And in Korean, they say, I, the ball, am kicking.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
It makes it very difficult to learn the language for me.
Yeah, I can understand why.
I'm also very dumb. That's probably the more important reason.
Oh, great. No, you're not. You're a bright little boy. Come on, man. All right.
Oh, look at what Gumiho's doing. Introduce these players and we can get straight into it because I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's the Red Terran in the top right corner of the map. From System Gaming, he is Gumiho.
And in the bottom left, in the blue, playing Zerg from Triumphant Song Gaming, it is Solar. Man, I got so excited there for a minute. I saw Gumiho sending out the SCV early, and I thought, our first proxy racks of the night, it's about dang time. But he's just walling off on the low ground here. Look at this. When was the last time you saw a Terran wall off on the low ground, Kozan?
I don't know. I don't think it's really a thing that happens that often, especially when you consider that, you know what, the early pool is kind of more of a thing now. Is there a smaller area to be walled off on this map? I don't think there is, right, Creighton? Is there?
That looks pretty standard, yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Surprising. What a bold choice there from Gumiho.
Oh, do you think there's... I'm very curious about this, right? Is it going to be an expand, right? Because he does have a wall earlier up, or is this just so his units actually get to the enemy base just a slightly little bit quicker?
We can see him queuing up the SCV. He's got 400 minerals saved up. He's going to expand right behind this barracks. So barracks expand just on the low ground instead of on the high ground there. Very interesting choice from Gumiho. I like it already.
I was thinking, right? Sometimes you see that Reaper all in. I think it's on New Repugnancy, right? That's the map name?
Yeah. The Koreans call that map New Reaper.
Yeah, exactly. So I was kind of getting those vibes there for a moment, but he is adding a factory. He doesn't have the refinery added either, so...
Yeah, just one gas taken for Gumiho, so nothing too crazy, but... Oh, is he going to engineering bay block the third base? Or maybe just keep the SCV there to be a little bit pernicious, a little bit angry, stop Solar from expanding quite as quickly. And there it is. He's dropping the engineering bay block, or a bunker block, rather, at the third base as the Reaper distracts at the natural.
Very good. Yeah, the Reaper going to try to get these Zerglings to low HP so he can deny that third base for as long as possible. Of course, well, I mean, that other third base location isn't too far away either. I'd say that it's not a too bad location, but then again, it's might become more easy for the Terran to start pushing into this location because it's so open.
Of course, this third base location on this map is really, really interesting because if you look at it very closely, you'll note that the third base location actually has a rich Vespene geyser at it. So while it is a little bit more wide open and difficult to defend,
yeah.
it has the purple rich Vespene geyser there, making it slightly more valuable there for any players who want to get a higher gas count out a little bit earlier in the game. This
Didn't
bunker
even
being
realize.
very frustrating there for Solar, who's going to be forced to delay much beyond what he actually wanted to there.
Yeah, that's really cool to see, actually. That makes a lot of sense now, putting down bunkers there. And I kind of feel a little bit silly not realizing that you should just build bunkers instead of engineering base now, when you're blocking these types of things.
Well, the NG base certainly has more health, and it builds more health more quickly, so it can take a little bit longer to
That's true.
to drive down. The bunker's an interesting choice. Again, something I've rarely seen. Gumiho busting out a couple things on this map that are just a little bit different than we're used to.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, and he gets the Overlord too. Nice catch.
Drop coming in straight afterwards, as soon as the vision for Solar dies out a little bit here. Let's see, there should be a couple of good places for this drop to come in. Now, I was watching some streams of Terrans here and there, and I did hear a couple of them talk about, you know what, you should definitely try to do a lot of drops on maps like these that are just this big. And I think, well, we might be seeing that exact same thing from Gumiho here.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Oh, and this Overlord isn't going to see it until the very last minute here, so Gumiho's not going to be quite in place for it, although one Queen and a Spore Crawler are going to be enough to scare him away. And he's going to end up dropping down there at the, what could be the 4th or 5th base location, rather. And maybe marching across the map? Huh, this is interesting.
Oh, he's waiting for the second medevac.
Oh, wow, with the tank in it. This is a bold push here. Tank, 1 Widow Mine, and then 4 plus 7, which is 13 Marines. No, 4 plus 7, that's 11 Marines. Never do math on stream. This is going to be a... it's going to be a potent push here from Gumiho. It looks like he's going back up into the main to set up siege.
Yeah, I think this is a really good location, actually. Just because there's walkarounds to this location over here, if you do get a siege tank... Actually, no, just setting up the siege tank onto the high ground immediately. Just wailing away on this
that Widow Mine down. If that Widow Mine... Oh, the Widow Mine gets picked off before it gets down. That's actually a big win for Solar, who can now get his Zerglings and Banelings in with a little less fear of the Widow Mine going down. But there's still a ton here. Oh, man! God. Gumiho loses everything in that drop, and Solar defends absolutely beautifully.
I just double face-bombed there for a moment.
Oh,
my dear
me
lord.
too. I've got both of my hands scratching at my scalp now, because that's what I do when I'm really anxious. Oh, poor Gumiho. Losing that full medevac and the siege tank. Great defense by Solar.
Man, yeah, that was an absolute stellar defense. That's as good as it could have gotten, actually. Like, only losing 11 links, 1 Overlord and 2 Banelings. Are you kidding me? For a tank, Widow Mine and 10 Marines? What in the world? That's not how Terran is supposed to trade out.
Yeah, man. It's not just the units that you lost, but it's all of that early game momentum that you built up for yourself as well. Completely hits a brick wall and stops. And behind us, oh my gosh, Gumiho's going to scout this Dropper Lord with his command center. When was the last time that a Dropper Lord got scouted with a command center? But we can see the Marines moving into position already. Oh, he's going to go for it. Still going to go for it.
Oh my god, he's going to get in as well.
The medevac's going to pick up, and I think should be able to defend this fairly well. Yeah, that's a good try there by Solar, but the Dropper Lord is going to get pushed away and picked off. So there's some revenge for the full medevac that went down earlier.
That's how it feels, Solar. Oh my god. But yeah, Solar now having cleared out the mineral pathway in here, in between those, well, his 2nd base and 4th base, making the rotation be a little bit easier. So that's Solar, or Gumiho, actually.
Yeah, what an interesting map architecture there with the crystal, the mineral barrier between what is the 2nd and could be the 3rd or 4th base locations. Not quite as well exposed either, so both players taking advantage of that very early on. And yeah, wow, we can see Gumiho already pushing out. Again, in classic Gumiho style, he's got to get something done. I mean, never forget, no matter how good the aggression is early or late or mid-game, the point of a Terran in a TVC is to do economic damage to the Zerg in the early game. If you don't do that, you're going to struggle for the rest of your life.
Okay. Managing to pick up the siege tank again.
Yeah, a good pickup. Gumiho gets out of there, but the Zergling count is getting very, very scary here, and we see 2-2 on the way from Solar. Oh, Rainlings, hello.
I've just been... I'm just going from cast to constipation to a different cast to constipation continuously here.
Oh no, Gumiho not pulling yet. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them go down. 11 SCVs get absolutely rained upon. That is exactly what Solar needed. Look at him now, up 80 drones to 50. This army supply is about to be off the chain.
Immediately throwing down his 5th base as well. Going 5 base versus 3 base right now. And, well, like we were talking about earlier, like you said as well, that means that Solar just completely confident in that he can hold off pretty much anything Gumiho throws at him right now. And I don't really blame him, like, honestly, without having to really look at the unit counts, I can pretty much say that, yeah, Solar should be able to hold off anything that is thrown his way right now.
Yeah, so I mean, a nice attempt at creep sweeping there, and Gumiho scores a couple of free queens for his trouble, but we can see Solar is engaging so far off of creep right now. There is no fear in his eyes, and look at that. Even as Gumiho plants that 4th base down, Baneling's still rolling around, trying to find some damage on this map.
Drop from Gumiho immediately picked off again. Actually, no, getting out with a couple of HP remaining.
Man, can we talk for just a minute about how disciplined Solar has been this entire game?
Yeah.
For starters, his queens are always, 100% of the time, focus firing down those medevacs. You said you're a Terran player, right? Yeah, when you're playing Zerg, it is so hard, at least for me, to make my queens target fire down the medevacs. I want them to be target firing down the Marines, the damage-causing units all the time, and it takes so much concentration and focus for me to help them focus down the correct units. He's also defending beautifully. He's got overlords all over the place. He's got spore crawlers in the right place, and he's taking really, really good trades here, whereas Gumiho seems to be slipping just a little bit. Man, Solar absolutely on top of this game here.
Well, yeah, I think one of the harder things with that, right, is that you need to have some sort of a buffer as well. If you want your queens to target down the medevacs, you need to be synchronized up with your Zerglings there as well at the same time. Otherwise, your queen is just going to die before it actually picks off the medevac.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And Solar's been doing a great job of knowing when his reinforcements are going to arrive. Focus firing down what he can, and again, doing that railing drop, losing 11 more SCVs. That is 22 SCVs that have gone down for the cost of 8 Banelings and a Dropper Lord. That is great damage.
That's absolutely heartbreaking here. Well, I'm not sure if I would still want to keep going if I were Gumiho in this situation, but he's hanging in there for now, trying his best to do some multi-pronged aggression with these dropships, but yeah, it's going to be very difficult. I'm not sure. He has a lot of siege tanks. That's going to be difficult as well to move out with siege tanks on this map. I feel like there's so many pathways for the Zerglings to go around, do counter aggression, set up flanking areas and everything he needs to. I'm very curious to see where Gumiho will set up these siege tanks. Maybe he's found a nice location for these bad boys to set up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been talking a lot about how Gumiho is taking little losses here and there in the game, but it's important to remember as viewers, those are exactly what we said they are, little losses. He hasn't done anything game-ending. He hasn't, I mean, look, his army supply is still up ahead of Gumiho, or up ahead of Solar's, rather. So he's not at the end of his game. He's certainly not on the ropes or anything. He's just maybe at a slight disadvantage compared to where Solar is now. Solar is staying so active, picking up those drops, picking off everything he can, and Gumiho is going to have to be more aggressive than he otherwise would to stay in this game, and that's where it comes. When you're more aggressive than you otherwise would be, you induce errors. Solar going for a little Baneling run by here, trying to break down the gap, and there it is. The supply depot goes down. Take a look at that natural expansion. Oh my gosh. All the SCVs that the Rainlings didn't get earlier, the Zerglings are now going to clean up. This is disgusting, and it's going to force Gumiho to move across the map and get something done.
Oh my lord.
It's terrifying.
44 workers go down. That is going to put Gumiho on the clock. He needs to move in with this force and get damage done as soon as he can. But there's Ultralisk, there's Banelings, and there's so many Lings as well. Rolling on
There's
top
almost
of those
no
Marines.
Marauders in this composition too, which makes it so, sorry to interrupt you there. There's almost no Marauders in this composition, which makes it so difficult to fight. We see the Zerglings still running amok, cutting off reinforcements. Gumiho's forces are dwindling, and Solar is looking more and more strong as he adds on Ultras, adds on 80 Zerglings, and that's going to be enough for Gumiho to tap out. GG, and Solar goes up to match point.
Ooh, man, it's a rough situation now for Gumiho. Still needs to win 3 games here, I believe. There's 3 more games. That's a lot of games he has to win to make a comeback happen here.
Oh, an uphill climb, to be certain.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait, is it 3 or is it 2? It's 3, right?
Yeah, best. It's got to get up to 5. It's currently 2-4 in favor of Solar. Gumiho has got a lot of games here to win, and Solar only has 1 left. Man, Solar has looked so good this series, whereas Gumiho has been trying a couple different things. Oh, and the last map should be whichever one we haven't done. Winter's Gate, I believe.
Oh, yep. Winter's Gate.
Because this is game 7 in a 7-game
The
map
map
pool.
everyone loves to hate right now. No, we've played Thunderbird. We've played Thunderbird.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is game number 7. Yeah, alright. So that's 3 more games that Gumiho is doing. Alright. There we go. Who are we missing in the party, by the way?
I'm actually not sure.
Is it Gumiho? No, he's in. Solar's in.
We've got them all now. We're up to 7.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, so we're good to go.
Maybe it's just a little bug.
Again, unless you want to play Gumiho in a TVT.
You know I do. But maybe not today. Maybe maybe I need a little bit more practice, Grayson. All right, that's
only a little though. You're so close to the GSL, Jose, and I can feel it. All right, both players ready to go. Oh man, on what could be the last map of the night if Gumiho's not careful.
Yeah. Gumiho on the edge right now needs to pull through and make this happen. I think we saw both players. Yep, they're both ready, itching to go. And they're both actually saying the exact same thing here. No, wait, actually, there's one slight difference. I have no idea what it means.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
No, I see some differences.
Just it's a typo by Gumiho. He hit the shift key down.
Oh.
Yeah. Instead of typing the S, he typed the double S symbol. So it still sounds exactly the same, but
there's one other symbol that's different here. Is that also a typo maybe from Solar?
Oh, possibly. I'll have to look at him again next time I see it. But
all right,
they're both saying the same thing, which is I'm ready to go.
All right, fair enough. Maybe it's just like I'm ready to go, and the other one is like I'm ready to start, or it's like I don't even know.
Very similar. Well, I'll tell you what, Kozan. What is your gut telling you right now? Is Solar going to roll over Gumiho again, or is Gumiho going to pull it back?
Well, here's the thing, right? I've been lurking around a lot of people their streams. I've been trying to ask, opinions about these maps, and the thing I've heard for this map in particular, for Terran's players, right? They don't like it. They don't like it at all, and it's because, well, they are playing on a map with slow fields, and now, I mean, slow fields overall, I feel like, me personally, of course, this is my opinion, I don't feel like it's a necessarily an enormous disadvantage for Terran, but a lot of the Terrans feels like it is, because, you know what, you don't have creep, you don't really have recall or something like that, so if you move out and you get counter-attacked, it's so incredibly difficult to get back to your base to start defending. And that might be a reason why Gumiho is actually gonna go for the cheesy play here, but he puts it at a location where the Overlord is immediately flying in, actually.
Oh my god. And he's going for the double proxy. Oh no. So the question is Solar gonna show this Overlord? And let Gumiho know that he's been seen, and he is. So this is really interesting, is very often when a Zerg player sees this double proxy going down, what they'll do is they'll keep that Overlord just out of sight of the 2 barracks. And so the Zerg, or the Terran player isn't sure if they've been scouted. Oh my god. He's doubling down. He's tripling down for the 3rd proxy barracks, but double drone pull here from Solar to drive it down. Oh, I like Solar's position already this game so much.
It's extremely heartbreaking for any Gumiho fan right now in the chat. Is not looking too good. He gets 1 barracks up, the other one is still going unscouted, so maybe he can still do some damage here, but it's already so significantly delayed. Maybe the boon for Gumiho is, of course, that 2nd barracks will come as a surprise and might still catch Solar off guard. Oh, losing another SCV here that could potentially throw down a bunker, of course.
Man, every SCV is so crucial in these double proxy racks situations. So losing that SCV is not great, but Solar also has a very, very late spawning pool. So he's just getting started on his 2 queens now. 6 Zerglings are on the way, but there are still 2 SCVs available. Gumiho is going to get 2 bunkers down, and Solar has got to defend beautifully. Look at the conga line of drones coming down to stop these bunkers from going up and to build a spine crawler.
Yeah, really
committing to the defense. I'm going to love his position.
If he does manage to get them up, but it looks like the drone's actually getting a good surround on one of those Marines already. The other 2 very low here. The bunker's almost finished. It looks like they might be able to get in here, but the Lynx have something to say about that. Good stutter step micro coming out of Gumiho, still having 2 Marines remaining. But then again, with the spine crawler coming up as well, it's going to be so difficult. The bunker just out of reach of the hatchery here, and he's going to have to push forwards into the spine crawler range if he wants to put on some actual damage here.
Yeah, and that's a crucial mistake from Gumiho, putting that bunker outside of range where it actually hits anything. Right now, of course, with the double proxy racks, the idea is that your Marines have a lot of DPS just by their own. So it's just like you're playing World of Warcraft. Every second you're not doing DPS, you're a waste of space. Right now, I know we just lost so many viewers because I mentioned World of Warcraft.
No. I'm just thinking like Classic is coming out on Tuesday, I believe. So it's like... That's more so like, oh my god, it's on its way. I'm very stoked about it.
I can't wait either. But every second those Marines aren't doing DPS, they're an absolute waste of space, just like the AFK Rogue in the back of your Molten Core raid. So Gumiho has clearly failed with this double proxy racks. He's flying both of these home, and he's going to double expand behind this. But now, of course, Solar defending beautifully, losing not even a handful of drones, 3 drones. And Solar is going to find himself in a really, really good position now. And Gumiho is going to have to do something drastic to get back in this game. And his choice is to double expand.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a gamble, but it does get scouted out here by Solar. Now he will have a wall off with barracks and a command center. So it's going to be, the ball is in Solar's court now, right? What is his response going to be? Is he going to go greedy with his own expansions? Is he going to go throw down a Baneling Nest or maybe a Roach Warren? Go in with Ravagers could be very good as well. Put on the aggression. And we do see a Baneling Nest. I don't know, Creighton. I mean, this wall looks pretty good against Banelings overall. And that's a lot of links.
I was really glad I let you stop. I was going to interrupt you, but I'm really glad I let you stop and finish your thought, because I was about to interrupt you and say I think Banelings would be a poor choice for Solar here. This wall is very strong. There are a couple factories behind this. Could be pumping out siege tanks. I mean, 1 or 2 siege tank shots on a big clump of Banelings destroys a Baneling bust. But Solar is luckily not listening to me and is, thank goodness, a much better pro gamer than I am, and is going to go for a massive Baneling bust here. Oh, he is rolling the dice, and he is rolling the dice hard. I think Solar has a hot date tonight, and he wants to get out of here before 8:30.
Maybe. We'll have to see. Honestly, I have no idea how this is going to unfold here. It feels like he should be able to bust this just because of the failed directs, and then combine that with the Greedy's very quick 3rd command center.
Yeah, I mean, look at the production tab here for Gumiho. It's SCVs, it's Blue Flame, it's Stim. It is not bunkers, it is not tanks. It is not what you need. I mean, 1 lucky Blue Flame hit might help a little bit, and he does have plenty of bio out. But, yeah, Solar's got 8, 9, 10, 11. He's working on 12 Banelings right now. That's,
2 engineering
in the words of another very
well.
famous caster, so many Banelings.
It's so many Banelings indeed. Man, and Gumiho just completely unaware that this is going down. He's putting down 2 engineering base as well. Doubling down on the greed, truly. Oh my lord!
Off.
No!
Oh, Gumiho!
Oh, my God,
oh no, here it comes!
Why? Alright, well I feel like that might be it right here, right now. These Banelings are rolling in, the Zerglings are rolling in, the Hellions are trying their best, and Gumiho must be just hitting himself right now, and there it is, GG, Gumiho! Oh my lord. Oh my god.
That poor man just getting rolled. That's never what you want to see in Game 5. The hope as a viewer is always that Game 5 is one of those long macro games with a big winner at the end, but that was just gruesome for Gumiho.
Man, dude. That was the wrong time to start moving your command center. Like, sometimes... oh my dear lord. Oh well.
Yeah, Gumiho taking a lot of risk that game. You know, once you build that command center in your natural wall, you can't move it over without some semblance of map control. And Gumiho had, of course, none of that. So a rough loss, but congratulations to Solar in an absolutely deserved 5-2 victory there. Solar looking. It wasn't just that Gumiho looked bad; it was that Solar looked pretty fantastic.
He was an absolute beast this series, and with that, guys, let me give one last final shout out to our sponsors, 24 Hour Fitness. If you find yourself frequently not really being motivated up until the very late hours in the night, then you know what, as the name implies, 24 Hour Fitness is open 24 hours and 7 days a week. You can go there whenever you need to, whenever you're like suddenly the motivation hits you and you're like, you know what, I need to work out more. I have this as well sometimes in the middle of the night where I'm just snacking on something and suddenly this panic rushes inside of me and I'm like, oh my god, I need to work out more. That's the moments when 24-hour fitness is like, well, hold on, I got you, my man, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Come over, have a good workout, and well, they have, as I said before, 436 locations in the US of A. And then more locations outside of that as well in Europe and certain countries. I'm not sure about the Asian side of things, but who knows? Maybe they're there as well. Probably not. I'm not sure, actually. I probably shouldn't mention that at all, since I'm very unfamiliar with it. Anyway, so yeah, you can go to the gym anytime you want. You can have access to all the locations, or you can have access to a singular location. So if you travel around a lot, you can, you know what, wherever there's a 24-hour fitness available, you can go over there. They have absolutely everything. Take a friend with you to have a free fit plan. Studio classes, pools, cardio equipments are all included with your membership. Very much appreciated. Anyway, with that out the way, man, what a series. My dear Lord,
Cool.
Creighton.
My heart was in my throat the whole time, Kozan.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit stumped, honestly. I'm sad that we only got to see the Banshee play just once in this series, and it might actually be that Gumiho just doesn't feel comfortable going with the Banshees more than one time in a big series, but I don't know, it worked out so well for him. He's so incredibly good at controlling those Banshees. Like, I feel like he might be maybe the best Banshee player in the world.
Yeah, he's got some phenomenal control. That is for sure. Definitely more to see from Gumiho. I mean, he had that crazy good run in the GSL Super Tournament, carrying the Terran banner. I think he's had mixed GSL results the last couple years, but always good to see him. The Tal Terran, always a fan favorite. So not much like the villain in any children's TV show. You know, you haven't seen the last of him.
Yeah, I think you're right with that one. Anyway, that was a blast to be casting. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to the players as well for participating. Thank you to the sponsors again. And thank you to the Alpha X people, administrators, helping us set this all up and allowing us to cast these matches. I had an enormous good time here. And Creighton, also, thank you so much for co-casting with us, man. I hope we can do this more often in the future.
Absolutely my pleasure. I don't know where I'm going to be for the next couple of weeks. I may be here in Korea. I may be back in the States, but I'll let you know. And the second I have the opportunity to cast with you again, Kozan, you call me up because you know I'll be here.
Amazing, dude. Thank you so much. All right. Well, you want to tell the people as well where they can find you, or?
Yeah, hey, I don't want to drag on this outro too long, but yeah, if you like my casting, find me on twitch.tv/Creighton Olsen. Twitter @Creighton Olsen, YouTube /Creighton Olsen. My name's hard to spell, but once you get it, you can find me absolutely everywhere. I do some StarCraft, I do some Pokemon, I do a little bit of everything. Stop on by and say hello.
It's on the screen, so if you haven't seen it already, right there, it's spelled that way. Yeah, I've been really Kozan. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch, mostly underneath that name. And, well, again, thank you all for watching. Hope to see you next time. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.